What it do, what the business is, you already know, you already know, you already know, you already know. Let's go ahead and get it cracking. Let's get it cracking. Hope everybody having a great morning, great evening, great afternoon, great day, great week, great month, great year. Man, great everything. But most importantly, you are being great. So this is going to be the midweek discussion, and trust me, you are going to want to tap into this. This is giving you a deeper insight into the weekly. Great rising, abundant rising, wealthy rising. We're going to talk about briefly about the weekly theme, and then we're going to go right into the midweek discussion. And like I said, this energy you're going to really need to understand. If you haven't understood this before, this is not just going to be for this week. This is going to be for now moving forward. That once I explain this to you, trust me, you're going to have a different set of wisdom added to your arsenal. You know what I'm saying? And trust me, it will save your life. It will save your life. You know what I'm saying? So what's good? What's happening? What's cracking? What's upper? What's upper? All right, cool. So let's tap, 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 tap. Let's get these likes up. Let's get everybody named Mama in here. Share, share, share. And if you don't follow me so you can be notified every time I go live, so you can get some news you can use. All right. So now if y'all ready, just type in the chat ready and we gonna get it in. Usually the discussions, we don't use cards. We don't use cards. The weekly I do, the midweek I don't. The midweek I don't. So the weekly already done. So I'm just going to briefly summarize the weekly so we can understand why this midweek is so important as well. Ready? All right, bet. Now, the weekly theme, great rising, abundant rising, wealthy rising. Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate it so much. All right, so now just to reiterate real quick, the weekly theme is no complaining. No complaining. Great rising, abundant rising, wealthy rising. Man, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for the gifts. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Oh, y'all going to really enjoy this. Really enjoy it. If you got the time, I got the time. You know what I'm talking about? So the weekly theme is no complaining. Now, to summarize it, no complaining meaning that if this is something that you want, if this is something you want to acquire, if this is something you want to do, you have to understand that every goal has obstacles. Every goal has obstacles. And obstacles should not deter you or distract you from your goal or from your objective if that is something you truly want. Something you truly want. Now, it's also saying, too, that not complaining to others, but also not complaining to yourself. Because it's that energy that is repelling all of your manifestations. It's leaving you in a state to whereas you're putting more energy in complaining about what you don't want instead of putting your focus and energy on things that you do. So it's taking an adverse effect because now instead of being in your logical mind, you are in your unstable emotions and you're only focusing on things that are unstable. Unstable, whether it be family, friends, relationship, work, goals, whatever it is. The more you keep focusing on things that happened outside of your expectations, it is stirring up your emotions, making it more unstable to where now it's clouding your judgment and you can't focus on truly the end goal. So the more you keep focused on that unstable emotion, the more you're going to start acting in that emotion, and it's going to steer you away in the opposite direction of where you're trying to go, and it's going to keep creating more of what you don't want. And the root of it is no complaining. No complaining. Because the complaining is the validity of what's going wrong. That you're emphasizing, you're empowering, and you're stamping negativity, which the more you keep complaining within yourself or to others, you're making it that much stronger and you're making it happen that much quicker. So the root of the complaining is the fear. The root of the complaining is all things insecurity, doubt, all that. So once you look at these branches, the tree of it is you're comfortable being victim. Being victim. Because when you complain, complaining never solves anything. It never solves it. Now, remember the definition that I gave for complaining. It's not saying that, okay, you venting frustration. No, that's not complaining. If you want to get something off your chest, you want to get something off your mind, that's not complaining. That's venting. But complaining is the continuous expression of disappointment, frustration, with no intention towards resolution. That's complaining. The continuous expression of negativity with no intention towards resolution. That's complaining. So if you vent, you get this off your chest, you may speak on it once, maybe twice. But if every person you meet, you keep speaking on this same subject, and it's always the same issue, or it could be different issues, because you don't want to get in the habit of every time something goes wrong, you got to tell somebody. Now that's complaining too. It could be a new subject, but you got to think, if every conversation that you have is expressing some type of negativity in some kind of way, every conversation, then it's like, it's not complaining about a certain issue. People are going to start looking at you like, damn, you complain about everything. Because now look how much you keep saying negativity to people. It could be multiple subjects. But every time somebody have a conversation with you, it's negative, then people are going to look at you as a chronic complainer. A chronic complainer. And do you understand that complaining is a negative energy that repels? Because all it is putting more focus and more power into what you don't want. Instead of rationalizing, Lord Jesus, rationalizing to see what you need to know to get what you need to get so you can do what you need to do. It takes that all out the picture. Oh, great rising. Yes, I do personal readings. Yes, I do. At the end of this discussion, I'll be open for mini readings. The list is open now. So if you did want to get a mini reading, it's $20. Or if you want a personal reading, you can go to www.3kingsconsulting.com. Schedule that way, or you can inbox me if you have any issues, and I can direct you towards that. But yes, I do personal readings. All right. So now with that explanation of no complaining, we got to take it a little bit deeper. We're about to go into the heart, not of complaining, but we're going to go into the heart of the complainer. So you don't become one. And if you recognize that you are one, you can fix that. So we need to go into the heart of the complainer, because if you don't go into the heart of the complainer, you're going to recognize that you may be one of them and wondering why your blessings are being blocked, why things is taking forever to manifest. And you may find yourself pointing fingers at everybody else, not recognizing it's probably you. It is probably you. And you also need to recognize the essence of the complainer, because if you are in the midst of it, you're probably suffering from their misery. You're suffering from their problems. This is in terms guilty by association. Guilty by association. So the theme for this midweek is infectious. Infectious. So before I get started, I just want to let y'all know where I'm coming from with this information, and I thought this was very prevalent to use. I'm coming from the 48 Laws of Power, coming from that book, because it gives great information. And I'm also coming from The Art of Seduction. These are two books by Robert Greene, but it's some information in here that I know that will be vital to understand the heart of complaining, the heart of the complainer, excuse me. Great rising, abundant rising, wealthy rising. So, man, if y'all ready to tap in, I mean, I'm gonna give y'all, if y'all want to take notes, I really do suggest, if you do not have these books, take notes. So if you did want to get these books, or you do have them, or you don't have it on hand, you can go back and refer to it. And instead of just taking my word for it, you can cross-check it. You can cross-check it and get your own understanding from it. But I'm going to try to break it down as best to my ability so that everybody can understand it and really get to the heart of the matter. Get to the heart of the matter. So if y'all ready to really dive in, man, go ahead, get comfortable, get whatever you need. Say getting paper now. I have one of them for sure. Bet. Go ahead. If you want to grab your book, go ahead, grab your books. Get you some pen and paper, whatever you want to do. If you want to screen record, I ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying? I ain't tripping at all. You know what I'm saying? All information is helpful. You know what I'm saying? Get your coffee, get your water, get your tea, get whatever you need. Because like I said, I'm not going to try to keep you for long, but it's going to be it's going to be a lot of information in here, and I want to make sure everybody got it. Say, got my notepad. Let's get it cracking. So if y'all ready, comment ready in the chat, and we going to get it started. We are going to get it started. Let me know. Man, thank you. Thank you for the likes, man. Thank you so much. Got my earbud turned up ready. Hey, let's get it. Let's get it. Okay, like I said, the theme for this midweek is infectious. Now, that's just the header. It's others that goes with it. It's infectious and the anti-seducer. Those are the two key points I'm coming from. Infectious and the anti-seducer. Now, before I get deep into it, I want to explain seduction. Now, when you hear the word seduction, a lot of people think sexual. No. Seduction is not sexual. It can be, but the total essence of seduction is not sexual. It's not. The true essence of seduction is a heightened sense of attraction. A heightened sense. That is attraction in action. That you are focused, consciously maneuvering the law of attraction under your own pretense and intention. Now, yes, seduction is attraction in action. Because you can have the law of attraction, but when you use the law of attraction for a specific reason, then that's seduction. Because now it's a more focused, it is a more powerful energy because you have harnessed it, channeled it, and gave it direction on a specific outcome. That's why we're coming from the 48 laws of power, because that is the definition that Stokely Carmichael gave about power. The definition given was power is the ability to take phenomena and move it in a desired manner. Y'all might want to write that down for real. That's power. See, people thinking money is power. No. People thinking materialistic things is power. No. Power is in you. Power is something you do not see. Power is something you feel. Power is something that you exert. So the things that you seeing are maybe the results of power, but it's not the power itself. Even your physical features. See, that's why I said we're looking at seduction, not the law of attraction. Because just because you may have physical features that are pleasing to the eye, that's not power. That's just attraction. The power is what behind those physical features. Because and I'm going to say this because people got to understand where I'm coming from. You have people that are beautiful. I mean beautiful from head to toe. But soon as they open their mouth, they ugly as shit. So all that power of ugliness that exuding out, fades all that beauty. Now your eyes may see beauty, but your mind's eye see ugly. Your mind's eye see ugly. So now that whole process has been counteracted. So you attracted people, but now when you use this seductive process, it actually uses the law of magnetism in your favor. Hear me clearly. Hear me clearly. This is why I say complaining repels. Because now with a negative energy, you're automatically repelling away. Because you can be handsome, you can be beautiful on the physical, but on the internal, if it's the opposite, it's not what's on you, it's what's in you. So what's on you brought it to you, but what in you pushed it away. What's in you pushed it away. And the reason I can say that is Cyrano. It's an old poet. I don't know if people heard of this person. This person's name is Cyrano. Cyrano had the most hideous features. But because of his intelligence and his artistic, creative nature and his character, he was labeled as one of the best seducers of that French era, of that French Renaissance. That he attracted and he captivated anybody who came across his path. People looked at him, it was like, ugh. But when they listened to him, when they actually got into his presence, he was adored by all. So this is why I tell people this. I'm getting into Infectious. I just saw that book on one of the monuments in DC. I'm telling you. So you confirming, I'm not just blowing smoke up y'all ass. So this is why I tell you, you have to learn how to be more than a pretty box. More than a pretty box. Because now you have, I'm going to give you this little metaphor, and I use this a lot, so I'm hopefully you'll get the gist of it. You'll have a box, like a present or a gift. You have a box. Looks very beautiful, has ribbons, diamonds chipped all into the ribbon, bow looking beautiful, glistening, glowing, shining. Then you have another gift with just a rubber band around a newspaper. Now, just off of physical eyesight, the average person would choose that box because the box looks like it's going to be something very expensive inside. It's going to be something very valuable there. And you'll turn away from that newspaper tied with a rubber band because you're going to think it's cheap. You're going to think it's cheap. I'm like, oh, man, this ain't no goddamn gift. This is how you going to bring it to me? A newspaper with a rubber band? What the fuck is this? So now people tend to go to that box. But when you open that box up, there's nothing there. It's nothing there. Like I said, you got a box with ribbons in it that got diamond chips in the ribbon. So you're like, okay, well, at least I got some value in the box. I can use these diamonds for something. So now people you begin to be a little disappointed because it's like, damn, I thought it'd be something expensive in this motherfucker. Ain't shit there. Well, then you go to look at, well, hell, what's in the newspaper? You open up, you take that rubber band off, you open up the newspaper, and it's the diamond, the original diamond that those chips on the ribbon came from. But you can't get it, though, because you chose the box. You can only choose one. So you chose the pretty box with nothing in it. So now, since you see that it's the original huge diamond that those chips came from, you missed out. All because your eyes didn't perceive that gift that diamond inside the newspaper was valuable. You have to understand which. I'm gonna ask you. Which one of those would you prefer to be? And this is going to set us up into this conversation. Which one would you prefer to be? The box with the diamond chips and nothing inside, or the newspaper tied with a rubber band with a diamond inside. Which one would you choose? Just put box or newspaper. And we're gonna use this as an opener. Which one would you be? The box or the newspaper? And there's no wrong answer. There's no right answer. Say the newspaper. Okay, the newspaper. Now, mind you this. I'm going to tell you, mind you this. You being the newspaper, what's inside of you is valuable. But people look over you. Because the human eye is trained to see beauty in physical form. So just know, yes, you're beautiful inside, but you get looked over. And you probably get looked over a lot. It's only those who take the time to really notice what's inside you that stick around. But just know, there's nothing wrong with being the newspaper. Just know, you're going to get looked over a lot. You're going to get looked over a lot. Now, if you were to choose the box, people will choose you every time. Because of their eyesight, they create expectations. See, with the newspaper, they ain't got to create no expectations because their eyesight is telling them, oh, that ain't it. That ain't worth it. That ain't valuable. So now when their eyesight sees something as being valuable, they're attracted to it. Now instantly, expectations come up. It's not until they open that box and realize nothing there. Now they have a greater disappointment. The disappointment they feel from seeing something that they perceive through their eyesight as being invaluable is way less than something that they perceived as being valuable and they created expectations for it. And once they open up and look inside, there's nothing there. It's nothing there. That's the root of your misery. That is, I just gave you two instances, the root of your misery. Because now, look at why I said that. Those two instances played on your insecurity. Played on your insecurity. And being the newspaper, think about it. Being the newspaper and being looked over so much creates insecurity within you. Because now that energy of insecurity transfers. Why do people keep looking over me? Man, I'm this type of person. I'm that type of person. You start explaining yourself. Now, the more you keep explaining yourself that you are X, Y, and Z on the inside, outside people is looking at you as you're complaining. Well, if you're such this, and this, then why are you mad about it? Insecurity. And those who got that box, they're insecure as well. They're insecure as well. And you know why? Because if you would have known that this was a pretty box with nothing in it, would you have chose it? No. So now the pretty box is a symbol of insecurity itself. Because since there's nothing in it, I got to make it look like I am worth everything. So now, once you look inside and you realize it's nothing there, the insecurity of the box now becomes you. So you see how you see how those two scenarios mimic one another. The newspaper become insecure because of others. The box is already insecure and it turns others insecure. So both lead off insecurity. Insecurity is going to be the root. So now I tell people what you really want to be. Ultimately, yes, you want to start off being the newspaper. So before you explain, I definitely would have chosen a box. The average person would. I'm going to be 100 real. The average person would. It's just like this. Would you choose a car that has 4 flats and a busted window over a Mercedes-Benz? Hell no. Let's be real. Nobody will do that. Nobody will do that. But see, the thing about that is you don't know the Mercedes-Benz could be broken down. That old car, all it needed was tires and a windshield. That's it. It runs perfect. It's the perception People live off of eyesight. People live off eyesight. And that goes back to Adam and Eve. There's nothing different in the day. The only reason that Eve ate of the fruit is because what the serpent told her, and what really caught her eye, it was pleasing to the eye. Pleasing to the eye. So the average person lives off these. So what you want to do is be both combined. Be both combined. Because now you've already, see, people don't realize it is a process. You start off as the newspaper. You work on all your internals. You work on all your character. You start healing yourself. You start getting your mind right. Man, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. What's up, Ashley? What's happening? You start working on your emotions. You start working on your spirit. You start working on all this internal work to where now you are a diamond on the inside. Now, as within, so without. Gift wrap it. Gift wrap it. Because now, when you gift wrap yourself, you're showing not only are you valuable externally, you are valuable internally, because what you are wrapping it in is protecting what is inside. So your external value shows your internal value. Now, the way you become that pretty box is not through the way your facial features, not through your clothes. It's through the way you talk. It's through the way you act, your demeanor, how you present yourself. How do you come across? Because that signifies what's in you by what comes out of you.
How you think, act, and feel.
Yeah, how you think, act, and feel.
Create your personality.
So now you got to really understand that point. You got to be both inclusive. Both. Because now the thing is you're a diamond. Man, thank you so much. Thank you much. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that, Ashley. Thank you so much. Hope you have a good day as well. That diamond within has to be exemplified as the diamond without. So that's why you don't want to be infectious as being a complainer. Because now you see how both sides attract. The diamond on the outside attracts, the diamond on the inside attract. But once you realize that what's inside of the box is invaluable, that brings on a sense of misery, insecurity, instableness. Now you begin to complain about what's not in that box. Or you realize that what's inside that newspaper is valuable, but it get passed over because nobody sees the value in it. So you begin to complain about that. That's why you hear a lot of people say, I know my worth. I know my worth. If nobody else knows it, I know my worth. Why would you have to explain that? Why would you have to explain that? If you know your worth, you know your worth. If you know your value, you know your value. You wouldn't have to explain it. So in that sense, that's a sense of complaining. That's a sense of complaining. And the reason I'm saying that you want to stay away from that is because if we go into the 48 laws of power, it says infection. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. It says you can die from someone else's misery. Emotional states are as infectious as diseases. You may feel you are helping the drowning man, but you are only precipitating your own disaster. Associate with the happy and fortunate instead. Because misery loves company. Misery loves company. And you don't understand that emotions The root of emotion is motion. So now if you have these emotions, these feelings, all it is energy, energy in motion. Now with this energy in motion, your emotions, you have these sensories, the five senses: taste, touch, smell, taste, touch, smell, hear, and see. Taste, touch, smell, hear, and see. And all these five senses has brought in information that has embedded in your emotions. Now, once you got this information and your emotions are attached, now you begin to project that out. Because it was energy in motion that your sensories absorbed in, as within, so without. So now when you have this rational mind that is not stable enough to perceive this information coming through your senses, then the same way it comes in is going to go right back out, but it's going to be intensified. It's going to be intensified by how much emotion you add to it. You add to it. So now, if your perception is already negative, you're going to increase that negativity because your perception of what information came in, you saw it as negative already, which left you miserable. Not saying that you are a miserable person, but it puts you in a state of misery. Because what is misery? A heightened form of disappointment that has been elongated. A heightened point of disappointment that has been elongated. So now you have been disappointed so often and so long that you don't recognize that you have become miserable. You are just not happy because now you have been accustomed to not being happy with certain situations, circumstances, and outcomes. And 9 times out of 10, you don't like being miserable. So you've been trying to fight against yourself to stay happy in some shape, form, or fashion, which is creating more misery to you because now not only are you fighting the external world, you are fighting your internal world, meaning you are fighting yourself. So now that's keep adding on to more misery. Not knowing that for you to be happy, you got to uproot the misery. But if you don't uproot the misery, only thing you're doing is going to keep projecting it. So now I'm saying it's like complaining. Your energy itself is a complaint in itself because within you, you have a problem with that. Now, if you don't fix it, eventually it has to come out. So it comes out through your actions. 9 times out of 10, it comes out through your spoken word. So not only are your internal energy repelling it, your external energy through your actions and your spoken word is solidifying it, being removed from you. Now, the crazy thing about what's the solution? The solution is get to the root. Get to the root of your dissatisfaction. Get to the root of your unhappiness. Get to the root of your displeasure, because those are nobody else's responsibility. That's key. Your own unhappiness, your own discontent, and your own displeasure, it's nobody else's responsibility. Once you take accountability for how you feel, at that very moment, you're obligated to change it. You're obligated to fix it. And how do you fix it? Recognize what it is. What is it? And I can guarantee you 9 times out of 10, people look at a specific person, place, or thing that made them unhappy, that made them discontent. No, nothing makes you unhappy. Nothing makes you discontent. Those things are already in you. Now, why? Why? Because think about it like this. Somebody can do something and makes you unhappy. And then somebody else come along and do something completely different and it makes you unhappy. What is the root that these two different occurrences created the same emotion? Then that should tell you it's not the situation. It's not the circumstance. It's a deeper root. What is in the root of you that when these type of different experiences happen, it draws out of you a sense of unhappiness and discontent? That's how you fix it. That's how you fix it. So the first step is learning that your emotions is nobody else's responsibility. And at that very moment, you'll stop complaining to yourself. Because the more you are complaining to yourself, that's still you negating accountability for how you feel. Because like I said, what is complaining? The continuous expression of discontent with no intention towards resolution. So the more you keep going within yourself saying you don't like this, you don't like this, you don't like this, when have you stopped to resolve it? So you've probably been complaining to yourself continuously before you start doing that to everybody else. Now you're recognizing that, okay, the more you complain to yourself, okay, you still live in a status quo. But the moment it starts coming out your mouth, now you're validating it. And you're going to start seeing things solidified in being repelled from you. You're going to wonder why people don't want to be around you. You're going to start wondering why things don't go right for me. And it's only going to keep adding on more discontent. And it's going to keep building up more misery and frustration and unhappiness with you. So you're going into a vicious cycle. At that very moment, stop. Stop. Get to the root. Get to the root. Because you are responsible for how you feel. You are. Your emotions is the one that's putting this energy in motion, which is repelling everything that you desire. Everything. So let's go a little further. You want to hear that again? No problem. I'll read this one more time. You can die from someone else's misery. Emotional states are as infectious as diseases. You may feel you are helping the drowning man, but you are only precipitating your own disaster. Associate with the happy and fortunate instead. Yes, I'll be posting clips from this. Yes, I will. Now, it's crazy that it said the drowning man because water is emotion. The element of water is emotion. Now, if you're drowning in emotion, do you understand that the first thing a person do, the average person, when they're drowning, they panic. They panic. Now somebody please put this in the chat. What happens when you start panicking when you're feeling you're drowning? If anybody knows, this is like very important right now. What happens when you feel you're drowning? You start to panic. You get pulled down more. You get pulled down more to where ultimately you do what? You drown. The moment you feel you're drowning and you start panicking and you start acting all out of character, you end up drowning. That's why I tell people, watch what you're afraid of. Think, use your rational mind. Your emotions is so unstable that you can't even stabilize yourself in it till you end up drowning in it. So now you come along and you try to swim in and you try to save this person. Lifeguards always tell you, be still, don't panic, relax. It's a reason they tell you that. When a lifeguard and that lifeguard sees you drowning, they tell you, be calm, be still, relax. Because they're trying to help you get out of this. But people who do not recognize that their emotions is unstable and they do not calm themselves, they do not still themselves, they do not relax themselves, you trying to be a lifeguard, you are going to drown with them. You only have two options at that point. Drown with them, or you let them go, let them drown on their own, and you swim back to shore. But remember, you came in and tried to help. You're caught up in a moral decision. That is a moral decision. That you felt the need to help somebody in need. But they could not stabilize themselves enough for you to help them. It seems like I'm always trying to save someone, but no one comes to save me. That's that. And you see that comment right there? Remember I told you how infectious it is? You see how infectious misery is? Yes, with that, I'm not telling you wrong. I'm not talking down, but I'm using that comment as an example. You see how misery is infectious. That you have been saving miserable people. And I'm not people in misery. I'm not going to call them. You've been saving people in misery to where now it transferred to you. Because of the expectation. You saw value. Remember the box. You saw value in that moral aspect and realized when you opened that box, it was nothing in it. Because if it was something in it, when you needed that help, you'd have got it. But by you only seeing value in it, and when you open that box, it's nothing in it, that same misery that was inside that box transferred to you. Infectious. Infectious. That was a great example. Thank you for that comment. That was a great example. So now you are faced with a moral dilemma. You are faced with a moral dilemma. Do you help the drowning man or not? I'm gonna ask you all a question. Like I said, we just keep it engaged and keep it interactive. Man, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. So now with what I just said, would you save the drowning man or would you not? Now we gotta put all this in context. Say no based off what you're saying. Yes, in that case, you know why you wouldn't save the drowning man? Because the drowning man is not trying to save himself. That's why. The drowning man is not allowing themselves to be saved. So would you save him? No, you couldn't. You couldn't. That's the key. Before you go in trying to save somebody, rationalize. Because even to just save somebody just off of your moral values is an emotion. It's an emotion. You haven't rationalized the situation. Yes, you know you can save that person, but do you understand if the circumstances will allow you to? That's how you rationalize. Your emotions is telling you, yes, I can do this. I know I can save this motherfucker. But it surpassed your rationale to recognize if you can save this person or not. And 9 times out of 10, nobody takes that into consideration. You have not analyzed the conditions of the environment. You only notice the condition of that person. You only notice the condition of that person. So now, by you having that emotion and to save everybody in that manner shows an insecurity in you because you value in saving others in attempts one day it'll come back to you. Because those who really have that generous heart know that you can't save everybody. You can't. Those who are truly generous and truly genuine know you can't save everybody. So people who try to save everybody, like I said, you are the newspaper. You have that inner diamond that gets looked over. So you want to save everybody so people can notice the inner diamond. Not knowing that you're saving boxes. That's why you're going after the box. You know what's in you. They don't have that in them. So that's why you're attracted to it. You recognize you have something they're missing. And if they would recognize what's in you and brought it together, it would complete it. But you got to look at it. That's 50-50. You're actually enabling. That's why I said people got to recognize you helping sometimes is you enabling. Especially if they do not want to help themselves. If they don't want to help themselves. Because you'll find yourself saving. Think about it. You'll find yourself saving that person consistently. You know why? Because they haven't learned why they keep drowning. That's the key. Misery is self-inflicted. Misery is self-inflicted. So now, if you keep saving a person, you might as well get ready to do that the rest of your life. Because they have yet to learn why they keep putting themselves in a position to drown. To drown. At that very moment. You are so embedded in that their misery, you are their company. You are their company. You have enabled them to play victim. And now you have been titled as the hero. You're titled as the hero. How do you stop when it's your adult child? You see what I'm saying? That's moral. A moral decision. Emotional. Because rationale will tell you exactly what to do. If your child keeps doing X, Y, and Z, think about it like this. You tell your child, stop touching that fire, it's going to burn you. The child hears you, but don't feel it. Don't feel it at all. So now every time your child sticks his hand out to get close to the fire, you pull it back. How many times I got to keep telling you, don't touch the fire? Then it goes right again, and you keep doing this. Every time that hand goes out, you keep doing that. That's adults too. Every time that hand get close, you keep pulling it back. Do you know you're enabling that child's curiosity? Because the more you pull that child's hand back and it does not pull its hand back for itself, it's going to keep going there. It's going to keep going there. Rationale will tell you, okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Put your hand in that fire. And the moment that child, now you know fire burns. Once you realize that child realized fire burns, that child ain't finna put that hand back out there no more. They experienced it. So you have to let miserable people find out the hard way. And I'm telling you, people who like to play victim and play miserable, you have to let them find out the hard way. Because now they're going to complain about, well, nobody coming to help me. Nobody coming to save me. Nobody coming to rescue me. Then eventually they're going to learn to not keep putting themselves in that position because help is not coming. Because who want to keep helping a person that keeps doing the same dumb shit? Because now the more you help them, the more shit you in. Every time. Because think about it. Every time your child will put his hands in that fire and get burned, you got to heal him. You got to put some shit on there to cool it down. You got to see if it's scabbed up. You got to see if you got to take them to the emergency room, then burn some skin off. You got to put some AD ointment. You got to do all this treatment every time this child keeps doing it. One of these days, you're going to get sick of doing that shit because it's like, how many, I done told you. Look at the process. I done told you. I pulled your hand away before you touched it. I let you touch it to see what happens, and I mended it. You did it again. I mended it. You did it again. I mended it. Like, how much more do you need to learn that it's costing me? I got to keep doing X, Y, and Z because you keep doing that. I give up. I give up. Because now look how that person's insecurity turned into your misery, because now you start to feel some type of way about that person. Energy transferred. So now every time you get around this person, the only feeling that you get around this person is going to keep doing dumb shit. And I'm going to keep being the one to have to pull him out. This person keeps doing this shit. And I got to keep, you see how that resentment builds up? You see how that disappointment builds up to every time you get around this person, you feel miserable around them. Infectious. It's something that's not in that person. That person keeps doing that shit. And it's something in you that keeps wanting to pull that person out of it. Not realizing that over time, damn, you're drowning in it too. You're drowning in it too. Infectious. So now their misfortune is what? Yours. Their problems became what? Yours. That's why misery loves company. That's why. Because the company that misery keeps is a life raft. You are a life raft. You are a life raft. You're the one that's keeping them alive. And by you keeping them alive, you are keeping their misery alive. So as long as they're miserable, you're wanted. As long as they're miserable, you're needed. Because without you being their life raft, they'll drown. So that's why misery loves company. That's why you have, I want you around. Bliss. That's why they need you around. You're the only one that's keeping them afloat. Because the average person would have let them drown. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? That's why they need you around. That's why they want you around. Because the average person would let them drown. But you won't. It's something in you. It's something in you that won't let them drown. No matter how much effort you put in, it's something in you that won't let them drown until you find yourself that you and that person is drowning together. Now what? Their misfortune has become yours. That's what it's saying. Their misfortune became yours. You may feel you are helping the drowning man, but you are only precipitating your own disaster. You say, I'm picking up what you put. Man, thank you. Abandonment issues. That's also the root of abandonment. Yeah, that was, that's, you're right. That was, last week was abandonment issues. This is getting worse. Now that you said that, this is meaning that abandonment issues is getting worse. It's getting worse. So we really need to speak on this before it goes into everybody, until everybody that you come in contact with, you taking them down with you. But now, remember, I'm telling you this. Those who put themselves in these positions, you got to recognize that, because now life does happen. Life happens. And we're gonna get a little bit further. I know I'm talking about this because I still got some more in this. Man, let me know if this resonating so far, man. Let me know. Let me know if this making some sense. So I wish I would have heard that about abandonment. Is there a video? I think I posted about it. I got to go back into my videos and see which one it is. I got so many on here. So I have to go back and see. If I go back, I'll try to repost it again. You know what I'm saying? Just to bring it up to date before I post these, if I can find it. All right, but let me know if this resonating so far. It is. Thank you, most definitely, man. How would I go up? Oh, if you want to get a reading, I'm doing mini readings after this. It may be a little minute, but mini readings is 20, and the list is open. I'll put you on the list as soon as I get finished. You'll be first. Say yes, you getting down to the root. Yeah, and that's why I said we need to get to the root of not complaining, but the root of the complainer. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, everybody's one. Everybody is a complainer at some shape, form, or fashion. But it's how do you recognize that? To not band-aid it, but to remedy it. Is to because if you know that at the root, this is it, it's time to uproot it. It's time to uproot it. So let me go a little bit further. Now, this is why I say you got to analyze. You got to use your rationale. You got to use your rationale because this also, so I would like a personal reading. Okay, if you wanted a mini personal or a private personal, just let me know. If you want a mini personal, you can donate on here. If you want a private personal, inbox me or go to the website and I can take care of you privately. But if you want it on here, no problem. Just you can send it to this. You can send it to this tag on Cash App. Yes. Okay, just send it to Cash App through this tag. Let me know, and I'll add you to the list. Okay. Now, this is why I said with the scenario that I explained, would you or would you not save the drowning man? Those misfortunates among us who have been brought down by circumstances beyond their control deserve all the help and sympathy we can give them. That's why I asked. Would you save the drowning man? And the reason I said you were not wrong by saying no is because that drowning man in that instance put themselves in that position and refused to get the necessary help to get themselves out of it. And those who fight against the help, you will fight back with the help, overcome with the help, pull them back out. They'll be thankful. Now, in the back of their mind, they know that if they get into this situation again, they can call on you. And I can guarantee you they will, because they did not understand how they got in that position in the first place. It was because of them. Now you have people, trust me on this. The reason I say it's a difference, that if somebody needed help because of situations and circumstances beyond their control, they don't fight help. Rationale tells them, I'm in something that I didn't create. I'm falling not so much victim, but in a sense, I'm falling victim to situations and circumstances beyond my control. I'm doing all I can, and I'm not seeming to get myself out of this situation. So when help comes, they do not fight help. Those are the ones who learn because they've done everything. They've tried everything. They didn't get themselves in this. This was a learning experience for them. So I can guarantee you they will not put themselves in that position ever again. Ever again. Those are the newspapers. Now you see why I used the box in the newspaper in the beginning? Those are the newspapers. That it's a diamond inside of them. But they needed help unwrapping it. But they've been looked over. So now they're trying to find their best ways on how to maneuver and overcome. So when someone new comes along and give them help, they don't fight it because they have learned through that. Now, two things on that being a newspaper that you can also turn into the box next. Because now, if you did not take that as a learning experience, now by you having that attention now, by not being looked over, you'll put yourself in victim positions just so you can get the attention. Now the newspaper has turned into the box. The newspaper that you had a diamond inside and you got tired of being overlooked, that you forgot about the diamond in you, just so you don't be overlooked, you turned into the box. You traded in your diamond to be the box. So now you put yourself in positions to be, you put yourself in victim positions so you can be seen. Y'all see how this word infectious. Infectious. All stemming from the misery of insecurity. That's the root of the complainer. Misery of insecurity is the root of the complainer. And I just gave you two examples of it. So let me read this again. Let me know if that resonates. Like I said, I want this to be conversation, want this to be dialogue, man. If you got, man, please feel free. So I'm going to say this again. It says, those misfortunates among us who have been brought down by circumstances beyond their control deserve all the help and sympathy we can give them. But there are others who are not born to misfortune or unhappiness, but who draw it upon themselves by their destructive actions and unsettling effect on others. I'm going to read that again. But there are others who are not born to misfortune or unhappiness, but who draw it upon themselves by their destructive actions and unsettling effect on others. It would be a great thing if we could raise them up, change their patterns, but more often than not, it is their patterns that end up getting inside and changing us. Now you see why I said you got people who are born to misfortune, but since they got overlooked so long, they knew they were a diamond on the inside. But since they kept getting overlooked and someone came along and saw their misfortune and gave them the assistance, they got caught up in the feeling on how it feels to be saved. So now, since they want that feeling to continue, they turn themselves into victim mode because they love the attention. That's how a diamond trades in for the box. The inner attention to the diamond has lost its value towards the outer attention being a victim. They love the attention of being a victim more than they love themselves now. And you would love to raise them back to that status. But ultimately, they'll end up bringing you down to theirs. So you hang with a victim long enough, you become a victim yourself. You hang around the miserable long enough, you become miserable yourself. You hang around the victim long enough, you'll be the victim eventually. The unhappy and the unlucky, infectious, all stemming from the misery of insecurity. Think about, I'm gonna keep reading this. I'm not gonna read the whole book. This is just highlighted portions. So please take notes, man. If it resonates, take notes. If you can't take written notes, take mental notes. You know what I'm saying? Let this spark something in you. It says the incurably unhappy and unstable have a particularly strong infecting power because their characters and emotions are so intense. Emotion. This is why I tell people not to suppress emotions. Understand your emotions, learn your emotions, and control them. But that takes a mental power. Everybody's emotions is powerful, but it shows you how powerful you are if you can control them. So your emotions do make you powerful, but it's your mind that makes you more powerful than it. So it's nothing wrong with having emotions, but emotions cannot be the leading light and guide of your life. Because now you're going to see if it's a hit or miss with emotions, because emotions fluctuate and change constantly. So what brought you victory can also bring you demise. That's how chaotic emotions are. Because if you go back, everything was in darkness when things was first created, except there was the waters of the deep, the celestial waters. And in those celestial waters was no order, no structure, no light, no guidance. So now when it says, let there be light, all that means is that in the midst of this celestial darkness of the waters, order was being brought. So now you have consciousness. Now you have rationale. Now you have structure. So if people only go off the waters, meaning the emotions, there's no structure. There's no order. There's no guidance. So in the beginning, the earth was in void and chaos. So to only go off your emotions, you're unstable. You're unstable. And being unstable, the only thing you're going to get out of life is chaos. Chaos. Said they often present themselves as victims, making it difficult at first to see their miseries as self-inflicted. Self-inflicted. That's why I said your emotions is your responsibility. Because if you do not learn why you keep putting yourself in these positions, you're going to keep putting yourself in these positions. But the attention you get from being a victim, you have the luxury to blame everybody and everything else but you. But you. But you. So now, here's this. It says there is only one solution to infection: quarantine. Quarantine. That meaning that you got to stay the fuck away from them. You have to stay away from them. That's why I said to go save them. It's you made an emotional, moral decision. See, people thinking to make a moral decision is based off rationale. No, it's not. When you make a moral decision, that's based off emotion. Because morals is only to the individual and how you value them, based off of how it makes you feel. You feel purposeful. You feel confident. You feel this way based off of how you feel about your morals. So your feeling about your morals is stimulating your emotions and driving you in that manner. But if you actually use your rationale, you would sit back and see, okay, is the conditions suitable to where I will not hurt myself. That's why I said you can't speak. Can you speak on ATRs? What's ATRs? I don't know what that acronym is. And people thinking it's wrong. No, it's not wrong. How do you think about it? This is why I said you got to be the diamond in the box, because you value the diamond as well as the box. You got to African traditional religion. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll get that. I'll get that after I get this point across. I got you. But you got to be the diamond inside the box. Not only do you value the box, you value the diamond within it. That's value inside and out. So now if you value yourself, you'll use the rationale. Is me helping you hurting me? Because now, if me helping you hurting me, am I willing to sacrifice myself for your cause? And will that be beneficial to you? Because now your sacrifices have to be beneficial. And it's not going to be beneficial to you. You got to understand this. If you're making a sacrifice, thinking it's going to be beneficial to you at the moment you make that sacrifice, you have just lied to yourself. Because you're sacrificing something that you deem being beneficial to you to benefit something else. So now, if you're going to sacrifice yourself to assist, help, and save somebody else, is the help you're about to give going to be beneficial to them? Now, people think beneficial means, okay, I just pulled you out. That's just half of the story. The other half, me helping you out of this, are you going to keep your ass out of it? Because if I helped pull you out of it and you jump your ass back in it, my sacrifice was in vain. That sacrifice was in vain, because that sacrifice is not beneficial to nobody. It was not going to be beneficial to you. So you got to understand that. So you can't get mad that you sacrificed something thinking it was going to benefit you. You already lost. You've already lost. You sacrificed under the wrong pretense. So you shouldn't have sacrificed to begin with. If you're sacrificing thinking you're going to get something out of it, you might as well not do it. If you're going to help somebody thinking they're going to help you, you might as well not help at all. You might as well not help at all. That's why I tell people, I said, you never expect help from the people you are helping. Because now, if you was expecting help from people you were helping, they would need your help because they could help themselves. So never expect help from people you're helping. That's foolish. That's very foolish. Because if you are, you didn't mean to help to begin with. You was expecting something out of it, and you rarely get anything out of it. You don't get anything out of it. And it's the reason you help is not for you to get anything out of it. That's the sincerity and the genuineness in your heart. That's the diamond in you. You've already received your value. You don't think you're going to increase your value because you're giving some of your value away. Yes, what you give, you do get back, but you don't get back in that manner. You don't give back in that manner. And if you don't have it to give, why give it to begin with? Meaning, if you don't have the mental strength to give, why did you do it? If you don't have the emotional stability to give, why did you do it? If you don't have the physical capabilities to give, then why did you do it? 9 times out of 10, you wanted something back. The attention, the newspaper, you wanted something back. You wanted something back. So that shows you you're the newspaper. You've given because you keep getting overlooked. So you want something back in return. The notoriety. You want the notoriety to be noticed. Am I right or am I wrong? So now let's change the narrative. Let's change the narrative. If you're going to help, help. Don't expect nothing. But know why you're helping. Know if you're in a position to do so. And if you're going to help, know that you're making a sacrifice. And you cannot hold that sacrifice over people's heads. Well, you owe me. They don't owe you shit. They don't owe you shit. You chose that. And if you chose to do that in expectation, you shouldn't have chose to do it. You should have not chosen. It's time to start making logical decisions in this manner. Because now, as they are infecting you, you are infecting them. Because they're miserable, they need your help. And you're miserable that they can't give you nothing in return. Infectious. Infectious. So now, this is the counter, the counter. I don't expect nothing that was out there. And it has to stay that way. It has to stay that way. It says, there are people who attract happiness to themselves by their good cheer, natural buoyancy, and intelligence. They are a source of pleasure, and you must associate with them to share in the prosperity they draw upon themselves. This is why I say everybody wants to be with a winner. Even the miserable. The miserable more than anything. Winners associate with winners. But the miserable dire need to be around winners. They hold on, they attach, they latch on. Because they understand that if I'm latching on to this winner, I'll never lose. That's how the miserable think. That's how the victim thinks. If I latch on to this winner, I will never lose because this winner will not let me lose. Not realizing that winning and losing is a personal choice. Winning and losing is a personal choice. So now, if you are a winner, you want to associate with winners. And what I mean by winners, I'm not talking about anything physical. Everything that I'm saying right here is an internal aspect. So I don't give a fuck if people, you can be homeless. But if you have good cheer, good character, good nature, sound mind, intelligence, then that just shows me that you are a victim of circumstances, not a victim of your own actions. That does not make you a loser. You're still a winner. It's just life threw you a curveball. That's all. But when you start realizing that people are victims of their own decisions, you better stay the fuck away. Because now you're going to be the victim of their decisions too. You're going to be a victim too. So I'm going to read this and we're definitely going to keep moving on. There is nothing, hear me clearly, there is nothing to be gained by associating with those who infect you with their misery. There is only power and good fortune to be obtained by associating with the fortunate. Ignore this law at your peril. That's why I said this is going to save your life. This is going to save your life. There is nothing to be gained by associating with those who infect you with their misery. Because to be miserable is a choice. Think about it. To be miserable is a choice. To be insecure over a long period of time is a choice. That's why I said misery. Misery is only the onset of an enduring disappointment stemming from an insecurity. Insecurity. Because if you were secure within yourself, you wouldn't allow yourself to be miserable. You would know what to do to secure your own happiness, to secure your own embetterment. Only the insecure allows themselves to stay miserable, to stay depressed, to stay frustrated, to stay unhappy. That increases them being unlucky. All these are choices. So do you mind me asking, what are you reading from? I am reading from the 48 Laws of Power. Law number 10, infection. Avoid the unhappy and the unlucky. Because that is one of the roots of those who complain. We're talking about the heart of the complainer. Because the weekly theme is no complaining. But how can you not complain if you don't know that you are a complainer? So if you recognize you are a complainer, we got to get to the root of it so you can stop complaining and bringing on misfortune. Unlucky? Yes. Unlucky means misfortune. That no matter what you do, it goes left. Things rarely go out and go in your favor. You rarely find yourselves in the positions of opportunity, positions to gain, positions of happiness, positions of fulfillment. That's being unlucky. Your energy is offsetting and off-putting and repelling. That's causing the misfortunes in your life. That's unlucky. That stems from a personal choice. Personal choice. I have that book, and he told me not to read because it's a book to get over people. Now you seen what remember when I first started, I said these books, the 48 Laws of Power and the Art of Seduction, people think is to manipulate and use others. No, it teaches you how to control yourself. Because think about it. If you have to use these tactics to manipulate and control other people, it only stems from that you don't have that control over yourself. So use these tactics on yourself. And I can guarantee you it'll make you better. Because now you're going to find yourself in control of you, where you don't have to control others. People will end up following your lead. You use this as tactics on other people when you can't control yourself. You use all of what I'm saying. Yes, you can use this on other people, but ultimately it's going to backfire. Ultimately, all this is going to backfire if you have no control over yourself. So now things must go back from whence it came. You start using all these tactics on other people and you don't have no control over yourself. When that shit come back to you, you ain't gonna have no control over it either. And it comes back intensified. That's the law of the universe. People call it karma. I call it law of cause and effect. Since you had no control over yourself, you tried to control others, you're going to come across a person who's going to do the same thing to you because they recognize you are one of those that do not have control over yourself either. So I can easily control you. And when it happens to you, it's going to tear you out the motherfucking frame. So instead of that, if you know that things must go back from whence it came, if you use this and focus on you, it came from you. So it got to come back to you. So all you're doing is what? Empowering yourself. That's it. The more you master yourself, the more yourself can be mastered by you. The more that yourself is mastering you, the more you can master it. So all you're doing is increasing your power. That's evolution. You're evolving. You're becoming more powerful. You're becoming more valuable. You're becoming more secure. That's how you turn from the newspaper or the box to now you're the diamond inside the box. Because now you're doing this not to others. Others is not doing this to you. You are mastering yourself. So when you have this being done to others, I can guarantee you they are the newspaper. When you are doing this to other people, I guarantee you, you are the box. But when you're doing this to yourself, you are creating yourself being the diamond inside the box. Because you value you inside and out. You see what I'm saying? I'm hoping this makes sense. I'm hoping this makes sense. So now I'm going to leave this one little quote right here. It says, recognize the fortunate so that you may choose their company, and the unfortunate so that you may avoid them. Misfortune is usually the crime of folly, and folly means foolishness. And among those who suffer from it, there is no malady more contagious. Never open your door to the least of misfortunes, for if you do, many others will follow in its train. Do not die of another's misery. So now once you start being the captain saver miserable, others will follow right along with it. And it's going to turn into a perpetual habit. The newspaper. You see what I'm saying? The newspaper. Because now you want that attention. Because look at me, I can save everybody. Look at me, I can help the world. And you're helping the misfortunate, not the needy nor deserving. No, you help, no, put it like this. You're helping the misfortunate and not the deserving. Because you have those who deserve your help. You got to understand the difference. You have those who need your help and those who deserve your help. But we tend to shun away the ones who deserve our help and give those who need our help because they make it look like they need it so motherfucking bad. Knowing good and damn well that's the illusion they won't project it out so they can get the attention from you. Because those who deserve the help oftentimes get looked over. Oftentimes get looked over. And you know why? Because rarely do they seek it. Exact. They never ask. And if they do ask, that means they desperately need it. You see what I'm saying? So I just gave you right there. That's why complainers just need your attention. Complainers just need your attention. And the attention it started off as a genuine cry for help. To where now that it turned into a continuous expression of discontent. because now they recognize the attention they get from it. That's why they never come to a resolution. They never come to a resolution because they are satisfied with the attention they get from the discontent. Unfortunate. How unfortunate. And there's nothing you can do to save them. And I know that may sound cruel, but I'm just being real. It's nothing you can do to save them. You have to let them drown. You have to let them drown. And trust me, they drown long enough, they'll realize how to get their head above water. And that's a lesson that they really do need to learn. Because if not, they'll never. They'll never. As long as you can keep pacifying their victim mode, they'll never learn to be victorious. Never. They'll never learn it. So sometimes you got to let them learn the hard way. Let them learn the hard way. Say, but those who deserve your help, don't be no fool and look past them and walk by. No. Sometimes, I said the complainer versus those who vent. Those who venting is just trying to get this off their chest. And I guarantee you, they probably don't even talk about their shit like that. They don't go to people asking for help like that. They don't express themselves like that. So when they do, they just getting some shit off their chest. And if you can help them, you know good and damn well they deserve your help. Help them. Because 9 times out of 10, they don't expect it. And when they need it the most, they get looked over anyway, so they don't know how to ask anyway. And they rarely do. So when you find people that have been put in positions that life has brought them to their knees, and you being in a position to help raise them up, and you don't, I can guarantee you life will drop your ass just as quick. Life will drop you just as quick because you're in a position to lift someone up who deserves it, and you chose not to. In the words of John F. Kennedy, the hottest places in hell await those who are in a position of power to make change and otherwise choose neutrality. That's all that's saying. You're in a position to uplift somebody who deserves it, and you choose not to. Prepare your life to be brought down, because that wouldn't be the first person you have done that to. That's not. So I'm going to switch it up. I'm off of this. I'm off of this. And we're going to go into this art of seduction. So as we take a little intermission, as we change books, let me know if that resonates, because we've been on here an hour and a half. So man, I hope this has been some good information. I really do hope this has been some real good information. So let me know if this has been resonating so far.
So you remember that lady asked for stuff?
Yeah.
I was thinking, I don't know, I was thinking about getting the powder or like these little cinnamon chips, like crushed cinnamon chips or crushed, or the powder.
Powder.
Because the powder we can like blend too.
Yeah, I would get the powder.
For tea bags?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cinnamon chips and the tea would probably be nice too.
Yeah, you can put either or, but it would be more soluble in the powder form. So that'd be good. Say, it is great info. Love your content, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Said this resonates deeply, man. Thank you. Yes, it has. Thank you, man. No problem at all. Yeah, but I would get the powder because it's soluble. All right. So now let's get into this. It resonates so deeply. Thank you, man. No problem at all. Oh no, well, you're not really so late. We just halfway through now. We at the halfway point. We are at the halfway point. Man, thank you so much. I appreciate it. We're at the halfway point. Now, said the mini reading you gave me saved me. I just want you to know. Man, thank you so much. I'm glad I was able to help you. I'm really glad I'm able to help. Really glad. Really glad. All right. So now we're going into the art of seduction. Let me before I get started in this. I know it's been a lot of heavy information. Let me know if y'all need like a 15 second, 20, 30-second break before we get into it. Just let me know. Say, yeah, that us so true facts, the overlooked, really need to help instead of turning away. That part. That's why I said when those individuals receive help, they accept it with open arms, because that's when the universe brings that person into your life. And you actually not only get the help you need, but you learn from that as well. Say, do you charge to teach certain things and subjects? Yeah, yes, I do. I do charge to do like real in-depth lectures. Yes, I do. This right here, I'm not even gonna lie to you. This is just weekly energy. It may sound long. This ain't even really deep. Like how I really do lectures. Lectures that I really do, it's sectioned off, and it's way more information than this. I'm just really taking a few bits and pieces of information and explaining it. But particular subjects, yes, I charge because I go very in depth, because I want that subject to be very well spoken on and understood, very well. I can go from whatever angle, whatever, this, but yes, I do charge. So I got both these books on my to buy list now. Hey, I'm telling you. But see, think about it is nobody really explains a lot of this. People tell you read this, read that, but nobody explains nothing to you. And see, these are just a few bits and pieces. And the only reason I can explain this to this way, because I put it in practice. And the reason when somebody asks me, well, that book is used to deceive and manipulate others, I can easily counteract that statement because I don't use this on nobody else. You can ask the missus. I use these on myself. I use these on me. I always like to use myself as a test experiment. And I never speak about things that I have no experience of. I may have some knowledge. I'll tell you, I know this, but I haven't experienced to know it personally. So I rarely go in depth on talking about shit I don't fully know. Because to me, that's me being foolish. And I don't like being foolish. Man, skip talking that bullshit. And I don't know what I'm talking about, you're probably right. You know what I'm saying? If I don't know what I'm talking about and you say I'm talking that bullshit, you're probably right. And I don't like being told I'm talking that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like being taught bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, if anybody, and I'm going to be honest with you, if anybody ever wanted me to do a in-depth lecture or teach on some subjects, if you wanted to do like a group setting, man, inbox me. I'm always open for that. Just let me know. We can set up the arrangements. I'll go wherever you need me to go to speak to whomever. You know what I'm saying? Just get you a group of people who want to know something, who want to learn something. Let me know what y'all want to know. As far as spirituality and all this, I'm not just going to go up there and talk about some shit I don't know. I'm going to tell you that now. I'm not going to talk no shit I don't know. But if anybody ever wanted, me and the missus to come speak, then let me know. I'm open for that. I'm very open for that. All right. So now, if y'all ready, man, comment ready. We're going to go into the second half. And I know we've been on here for quite a while. And I don't want to keep you too much longer. But I do want to get through this because this information is very, very helpful. Say, ready. That sounds great. Man, ready. Hey, let's go ahead and get it. Let's get it. All right. So now, I'm coming from the book, The Art of Seduction. The Art of Seduction. And this is another portion of the midweek, the anti-seducer. The anti-seducer. Now, just to reiterate, seduction is using the law of attraction in a specific and designed manner. Meaning that you know what you want a certain outcome to be. So now you're using the law of attraction to draw it in to create a certain desired outcome. That's power. Remember I said the definition of power from Stokely Carmichael is the ability to take phenomena and make it act in a desired manner. That's power. And you're using seduction as a tool of power. You're not using seduction in a sexual sense. And the reason it's called seduction is because it's an empowered law of attraction, meaning attraction in action. It's in your actions, not just there. It's not just an energy. It's not just stagnant. It's not just potential. It's not just implied. This is the law of attraction in action. That's seduction. And it has a provocative and exotic demeanor to it, meaning it's something that's not the average. It's not normal. It's personified. It's specific to your own individual character. That's what makes it seductive. That's what makes it seductive. So now, all that what I've just said about power and seduction, the total opposite is the anti-seducer. Does not know how to use the law of attraction in action. Does not know they have the ability to take phenomena, nor do they know how to make it move in a desired manner. Only thing they know is chaos. Because to be a seducer, you have to have intelligence. You have to have rationale. Anti-seducers do not live in rationale. They live in emotions. That's why the infectious and anti-seducers are synonymous. And those are the roots of the complainers. That's the root of the complaint. A complainer is infectious and anti-seductive. And you want to stay the fuck away from them. You want to stay the fuck away from them. Because those are self-inflicted. Remember that. Remember, those who are not responsible for their own emotions are victims. And they are victims of their own self-inflictions. Remember that. Stay the fuck away from them. Because if they don't realize that they are the victims of their own self-inflictions, you will become one of their victims as well. So this is what, we say this is why my manifestations are off. And that's why I said no complaining. Because you don't realize that is why you are not manifesting the way you would like to. So now either it's you complaining internally, or you are around people who complain all the fucking time, or you are complaining to people too fucking much. That's why you're not getting what you wanted. Your energy is repelling all that you desire. It's repelling it. So now, I left a complainer and it's a reason I feel lighter. Y'all, so me saying all this, y'all understand it. I'm just not talking out the side of my neck. I'm not bullshitting with y'all. And this is all the energy. This is the energy that's prevalent. That's the only reason that I'm speaking in this manner. No, that's the worst thing you can do. What's more worse than complaining to other people is to complain to yourself. Even though you may be the only one that's listening, that would ever listen to it, That's the point. You're the only one that's listening to it. Even when you complain to others, they hear you. They ain't listening to you. So when you complain to yourself, it makes it worse because you're the one listening to it. And as you listen to it, you become it even more. So you're solidifying it within yourself. So by the time you solidified it in yourself, it comes out, you're validating it in the world. It's solidified in you. But when you speak it out, you're just validating it in the world. So by the time people get to complaining to everybody else, they didn't complain to themselves already. And they are a bona fide complainer. Bona fide. You know what I'm saying? So never complain to yourself. Recognize the situation that has you sitting uneasy. Get to the root of it and lead towards a resolution. That's why I say complaining is the continuous expression of discontent with no intention of resolution. But if you got an intent to resolve that, you would never complain to yourself. You may be venting to yourself just to bring it across your awareness, but then you'll start trying to figure out, how can I solve this shit? So you're working it out within yourself. So you wouldn't be complaining to yourself. You're using yourself as a sounding board and also using yourself as a drawing board to come up with some idea on how to fix this. So you're not complaining to yourself. But if you're never leading to no resolution, then you complaining like a motherfucker to yourself. And you're actually becoming more and more of that which you complain about to yourself. So I hope that made sense. I hope that made sense. So never complain to yourself. And I can guarantee you, if you never complain to yourself, you'll never complain to others. If you never complain to yourself, you will never complain to others. Because you would start to look for answers within yourself, which would make you a person that people would come to for great advice. And you would know how to lead people to resolution, because you are resolution based. You are solution based. You are result based. You see what I'm saying? So, oh wow, all along I thought it was okay to complain to myself. No, it's not okay. It is never okay to complain to yourself. Because the more you complain to yourself, the more time and energy you're taking away from coming to a solution. It's never good to complain to yourself. Never. Because you're telling yourself so much negativity that you don't realize you are beating yourself down even more. It's never good. Never good. Okay, so let's talk about this anti-seducer. It says anti-seducers come in many shapes and kinds, but almost all of them share a single attribute: insecurity. Insecurity. That's why I've been talking. If you hear all that what we've been talking about, infectious, anti-seducer, it comes from insecurity. Insecurity. And that's why I tell a lot of people, you got to work on your insecurities. It's not doing you any good. It's hurting you more than you realize. It's because of those insecurities that you choose not to overcome that's creating the inflictions you are feeling and receiving. But you got to understand that it's your responsibility. That's why you can't save the drowning man. If the drowning man is not willing to, one, be saved, and two, not willing to assist in saving themselves. Only thing you're going to do is drown with them. Drown with them. It says the anti-seducers are insecure to such a degree that they cannot be drawn into the seductive process. Their needs, their anxieties, Their self-consciousness close them off. They're not open to it. They're not open to resolution. They're not open to, none of this shit. Personal responsibility. None of that. Say, honestly, that's me. Insecurity about the things that I know I can do. So, like I said, we're going to get to the root of how we are the answer, and what role we are the complainer, in what role we are infectious, and in what role we are the anti-seducer. Because once we come to that realization, we can make some necessary changes to start bringing things into fruition, that which is of our greater benefit. Now you see why I say I use these not on other people. I use these on myself. I use these on myself. And it makes you that much greater. Say, but you see, you can do it. Exactly, you can. So now change the narrative. Change the narrative. It says their needs, their anxieties, their self-consciousness, close them off. They interpret the slightest ambiguity on your part as a slight to their ego. They see the merest hint of withdrawal as a betrayal and are likely to complain bitterly about it. Do y'all hear what I said? Complain. No complaining. The heart of the complainer. I'm going to read it one more time. Anti-seducers are insecure to such a degree that they cannot be drawn into the seductive process. Their needs, their anxieties, their self-consciousness close them off. They interpret the slightest ambiguity on your part as a slight to their ego. They see the merest hint of withdrawal as betrayal and are likely to complain bitterly about it. Anti-seducers repel, so be repelled. Avoid them. That's the second time it say stay away from motherfuckers who complain all the time. Stay away from them. Stay the fuck away from them. Because now you're seeing that they're not even open for resolution. They're not even open for betterment. They're not even open to attract something better. They want that company. They want misery. They want the attention that misery bring them. They want that insecurity to be put on center stage because it is the source of their power that attracts all that they desire in negativity. It attracts all that. It attracts all that. So now, once you realize it, yes, misery loves company. And we're showing you why it loves company. And you realize that now, since all this negativity is going on within them, it's infectious. You end up becoming an anti-seducer too once you get infected with their misery. Now you might find yourself complaining just like they do. You might find yourself not seeking answers or trying to resolve or taking personal responsibility or taking accountability for your own emotions, your own thoughts, and your own actions. That's because association brings assimilation. You associate with the miserable, you become it. You associate with the unhappy, you become it. You associate with the unlucky, you become it. You associate with the misfortunate, you become it. Now, remember, I'm telling you, the unhappy, the unlucky, the misfortunate, the miserable, all these are self-inflicted. Self-inflicted. This not saying they are a victim of circumstances. This means their own foolishness created this for them. So now you have to stay away from those people who like to self-inflict misery on themselves. You have to stay away from the people who like to self-inflict unhappiness on themselves. You have to stay away from the people who like to self-inflict being unlucky on themselves. You have to stay away from those who self-inflict misery and misfortune on themselves. Because if they can do that to themselves, who are you for them not to do that to you as well? Think about it. If you really value you, if you really valued you, and you know that you don't like inflicting pain upon yourself, then you wouldn't do that to others because you know how that feels. But if you don't mind inflicting pain and suffering on yourself, then who is somebody else that you would not do that to as well? Who is somebody else that you wouldn't do that to as well? That's why you got to stay the fuck away from them. Because if they don't mind doing that shit to them, they'll have a blast doing it to you. That'll be the highlight and the stimulus of their life. They'll get a rush, an adrenaline charge off of that shit. That's the adventure of their life. The emotional instability and chaos. They love that shit. They gotta love that shit. Because if they didn't, why would they do that to themselves? Why would they do that to themselves? So that's why I say, look at it. Look how you do this to yourself. Look how you do this to yourself. That's why I said we gotta go into the root. We're not. If you notice, we're not taking a look at other people. We're looking at other people as a mirror. That's why when you read this, you don't look at it. Okay, I can do that to that person. Let me notice that in that person. No. You use this as a mirror to recognize it in you. Recognize it in you. That way you don't have to worry about going around judging people. You have to worry about going around manipulating and deceiving people to get some type of control out of them. You wouldn't need that. Because now you have control over yourself and you know what outcome you can produce from yourself as long as you stay in control of you. It doesn't matter what people outside of you do, this, that, and the third. You'll be able to operate and move accordingly because you've done that to yourself first. Let me know if this is resonating so far, because this is gonna be fairly quick. This is gonna be fairly quick. All right. This is explaining some characteristics of the anti-seducer. It's saying you must look for clues to their self-involvement and insecurity. Perhaps they are ungenerous, or they argue with unusual tenacity, or are excessively judgmental. That's why I said what I said earlier. I'm going to say it one more time. They are ungenerous, or they argue with unusual tenacity, or are excessively judgmental, or most important, they pay no attention to details. And the reason they say don't pay no attention to details is that they are not conscious of how they affect others. They're not conscious of their surroundings. They are not aware of their environment. They don't care. They don't give a fuck. That's why they don't understand how they are creating the environment based off their own self-inflicted suffering. Self-inflicted. But it's everybody else's fault but theirs. And they don't recognize how they repel so much away from their life. They push so much away. Push so much away from their life. So, say, Oh, somebody had some questions. Hold on. Yeah, the first book I came from was the 48 Laws of Power. This book is the art of seduction. So those who just tuning in, this is where I'm coming from. The art of seduction has nothing to do with sex. It's not trying to seduce somebody to get them to be over sexual. This ain't this type of book. This is not that. This is not that. Said those complain about everyone around them often don't see the common. Thank you. They do not pay attention to details. That's why I said on a lot of weekend loves, if you look at all the relationships you've been in, and you have that same problem with every relationship you've been in, 9 times out of 10, you're the problem, because you are the common denominator in all of them. You're the problem. You're the problem. And that's when you start going into self-control and self-consciousness and self-aware, when you realize, oh shit, I am the problem. And you start becoming accountable and responsible, not only for your actions, but for your thoughts and for your emotions and for your circumstances and for your environment. You start to value yourself. You start to heal yourself. You start to mature yourself. You start to repair yourself. You start to grow yourself. You start to evolve. You start doing this. You're not waiting on it to happen to you. You are taking the initiative. You're taking stock in yourself. You're putting value in yourself. You are empowering yourself. Because can nobody outside of you do that? They can only influence it. But nothing happens that you don't allow. You don't allow. So now we're going to go into a few. This is just a few descriptions in here of what anti-seducers may look like. Now, this is also another form of complainers. Complainers. Now, the first one it mentions is the brute. The brute. Now, if you want to go and read about this, if you have the Art of Seduction, it's on page 133. Page 133 in the Art of Seduction, Typology of the Anti-Seducers. So now it says, the brute. If seduction is a kind of ceremony or ritual, part of the pleasure is its duration, the time it takes, the waiting that increases anticipation. Brutes have no patience. Have no patience. So that's how you know that you're on the road to being a complainer. You have no patience. You're anti-seductive. And you are infectious because you have no patience. That's a branch of that. No patience. Impatience has the opposite effect. Assuming you are so interested in them, you have no reason to wait. Brutes offend you with their egotism. Underneath that egotism, too, there is often a gnawing sense of inferiority. And if you spurn them or make them wait, they overreact. Let me read it one more time just so you can understand where I'm coming from. And I'm gonna highlight, because I thought I highlighted this, but this is key. This is key to that. And y'all see, I study right along with you. You know what I'm saying? Impatience has the opposite effect. Assuming you are so interested in them, you have no reason to wait. Brutes offend you with their egotism. Underneath that egotism, too, there is often a gnawing sense of inferiority. And if you spurn them or make them wait, they overreact. They overreact. That's the brute. That's the brute. Say, I'm going to have to go in extreme quarantine in hermit mode. I mean, I'm not trying to tell people to you know what I'm saying, to stay inside. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying this is just, eye openers. Because sometimes this not everybody. This could be you. This could possibly be any one of us at any given moment. So it's not necessarily being the outside that's the problem. It could be inside that's the problem. We just looking at the root to seeing if how much of this do we identify with ourselves to uproot it, so we don't keep bringing on misfortune, so we don't keep repelling our blessings, so we don't keep blocking our blessings. We want to get to the root of that within us. Say the signal coming from inside the house sometimes. What matters is how it's handled. That part. So I just gave my oldest child an ultimatum because he's one of those. Man, hey, I'm telling you, same here. I don't overreact, but I don't have patience. But see, now you recognizing how patience brings power. Because patience gives you control over yourself, which ultimately translates into control over the situation. Said, I need to work on it. I realize that now. Man, for real. Hey, and that's all this is. Like I said, we just putting up a mirror. The next one is the suffocators. It says, suffocators fall in love with you before you are even half aware of their existence. The trait is deceptive. You might think they have found you overwhelming, but the fact is they suffer from an inner void, a deep well of need that cannot be filled. The box. Y'all hear that? The box. You might think they have found you overwhelming, but the fact is they suffer from an inner void, a deep well of need that cannot be filled. Never get involved with suffocators. They are almost impossible to free yourself from without trauma. So now, that's why I said you don't want to be that box. Looking valuable on the outside, empty on the inner. Empty. So let me jot that down. Let's see. I'm sorry, I'm missing all kind of comments. Hold on. It says fix inward so your outside will shine bright like a diamond. That's why I used that analogy earlier. The box and the newspaper. Inside the newspaper is a diamond. Outside the box is diamonds that were chipped from the original diamond that's inside the newspaper. But when you open up the box, there's nothing in there. Both of those two scenarios breed insecurity. You have to be the diamond inside the diamond box. That means you value yourself inside and out. You have to value yourself inside and out. So, have anyone, at any point, because I know I have at one point in my life too, but have anybody ever noticed that you realize that at some point you were an empty box? You were an empty box. That you just needed somebody to fill that void. And I'll admit, at some point in my life, I was too. Until I had to come to grips. And here's a trait of that. It says they cling to you until you are forced to pull back, whereupon they smother you with guilt. See the complaint? I'm telling you, this complaining shit. They cling to you until you are forced to pull back, whereupon they smother you with guilt. So recognize that. Recognize that. You can't pour from an empty cup. I'm trying to done told you. So It says a subvariant. I'm going to say this. A subvariant of the suffocator is the doormat, a person who slavishly imitates you. Spot these types early on by seeing whether they are capable of having an idea of their own. An inability to disagree with you is a bad sign, because it builds up resentment. That's why I tell people never be a doormat. Okay, I'll read it one more time for you. It says a subvariant of the suffocator is the doormat, a person who slavishly imitates you. Spot these types early on by seeing whether they are capable of having an idea of their own. An inability to disagree with you is a bad sign. All right. So what's happening? What's happening? What's good? What's good? So we're going to keep moving on. Like I said, I'm not trying to take up too much more of your time. We almost finished. Almost finished. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just got 6 more to talk about, and we'll be done. We will be done. The next one is the moralizer. And all of these is coming from The Art of Seduction. The moralizer. It says, all is fair in love and seduction. Morality never enters the picture. The character of the moralizer, however, is rigid. These are people who follow fixed ideas and try to make you bend to their standards. They want to change you to make you a better person, so they endlessly criticize and judge. And that is their pleasure in life. Y'all hear what I'm saying? I'm gonna say this again. The character of the moralizer, however, is rigid. These are the people who follow fixed ideas and try to make you bend to their standards. They want to change you to make you a better person, so they endlessly criticize and judge. That is their pleasure in life. Now you see why I said making those moral decisions? Moral decisions are emotional, because that's what you value. That's what you value. In truth, their moral ideas stem from their own unhappiness and mask their desire to dominate those around them. Y'all, you see where I'm saying all this is tying in? All this is tying in. I'm going to read that one more time just in case y'all didn't catch it. The character of the moralizer, however, is rigid. These are people who follow fixed ideas and try to make you bend to their standards. They want to change you to make you a better person, so they endlessly criticize and judge. That is their pleasure in life. In truth, their moral ideas stem from their own unhappiness and mask their desire to dominate those around them. These are, I'm telling you, we getting to the heart of the complainer. Getting to the heart of it. So now we have the next one, the tightwad. Tightwad. Cheapness signals more than a problem with money. It is a sign of something constricted in a person's character, something that keeps them from letting go or taking a risk. You hear that? It says cheapness signals more than a problem with money. It is a sign of something constricted in a person's character, something that keeps them from letting go or taking a risk. It is the most anti-seductive trait of all, and you cannot allow yourself to give in to it. Most tightwads do not realize they have a problem. They actually imagine that when they give someone some paltry crumb, they are being generous. Now you see why I said give an expectation? When you give an expectation of getting something in return. Y'all seen I'm not just making shit up. I'm not making this shit up. So if y'all caught that, let me know. If y'all want me to read that again or explain it again, let me know. Let me know. All right, let me know if y'all catching it so far. And here it goes, and this is why I say all this. It says, take a hard look at yourself. You are probably cheaper than you think. Try giving more freely of both your money and yourself, and you will see the seductive potential in selective generosity. Of course, you must keep your generosity under control. Giving too much can be a sign of desperation, as if you were trying to buy someone. Y'all see what I'm saying? That's why I said you never give to the needy, because that give the illusion that they need you. You never give to the greedy, because you'll never satisfy them. You give to the deserving, that they have succumbed to a circumstance in life that they are not able to overcome on their own merit. They deserve your help. They deserve your help. But 9 times out of 10, they are the ones that get looked over because they don't brag, they don't boast, they don't put their problems on a billboard. Everyone else does. The needy broadcast they need. The greedy broadcast they want. Those who deserve it try to find a way for themselves. And they silent. They stand off in the back. They rarely get recognized. You see what I'm saying? Say, when you give and just look at it as it would take care of something moving forward. Man, I'm trying to done told you. I have sat back and watched people figure it out when I say no. Yes. That's why I said sometimes you are an enabler. And by you being an enabler, you are prone to being attracted to damsels in distress. Because you always want to come to somebody's rescue. Because of an insecurity within yourself. So your insecurity is attracted to another insecurity. That paper is attracted to the empty box. That's why I use those two. The newspaper always attracts the empty box because they need each other. The newspaper needs the box to have that external value. And the box needs the newspaper for that internal value. Now you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. So now the next is the bumbler. The bumbler. And this is all, and see, this is what I'm saying. This is not to talk about nobody outside of recognizing how this is us. And is this in me? You know, let me recognize this in me, because everything that I'm speaking about on this live is what repels your blessings. This is what's repelling it. So now we have the bumbler. It says bumblers are self-conscious, and their self-consciousness heightens your own. At first, you may think they are thinking about you, and so much so that it makes them awkward. In fact, they are only thinking of themselves, worrying about how they look or about the consequences for them of their attempt to seduce you. Their worry is usually contagious. Soon you are worrying too about yourself. Bumblers rarely reach the final stages, But if they get that far, they bungle that too. The key weapon is boldness, refusing the target the time to stop and think. Bumblers have no sense of timing. Y'all hear that? No sense of timing. So it says you might find it amusing to try to train or educate them, but if they are still bumblers past a certain age, the case is probably hopeless. They are incapable of getting outside of themselves. Incapable. So now this saying that this person, this type of energy is only focusing on you. It's always all about you. And you can't see anything outside of yourself. That's why it says those who are infectious pay no attention to details, meaning that you are not aware of your environment, self-absorbed and always self-consciousness, which turns into a heightened degree of selfishness. Selfishness. So let me know if that made sense, because like I said, we coming down to the last few. Okay. All right. So the next one we have is the windbag. It says words have a place, but too much talk will generally break the spell, heightening surface differences and weighing things down. People who talk a lot most often talk about themselves. Come on now. To be a windbag is to have a deep-rooted selfishness. Never interrupt or argue with these types. That only fuels their windbaggery. At all costs, learn to control your own tongue. I'm going to say that again. Words have a place, but too much talk will generally break the spell, heightening surface differences and weighing things down. People who talk a lot most often talk about themselves. Never interrupt or argue with these types. That only fuels their windbaggery. At all costs, learn to control your own tongue. Say, my biggest problem working on it. Man, life is death. The power of life and death is on the tongue. In the midst of silence is a plethora of wisdom. In the midst of words, you may find foolishness. In the plethora of words, foolishness is in the midst. I got that from King Solomon. In the midst of silence, there is wisdom. But in the plethora of words, folly and foolishness is in the midst. So that's why it says, at all cost, learn to control your own tongue. So now let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. We only have two more, this and one more, and we'll be finished. But say you got two ears, wise are they who listen twice as much as they speak. Facts. 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 So now we have the reactor. Reactors are far too sensitive, not to you, but to their own egos. They comb over your every word and action for signs of a slight to their vanity. If you strategically back off, as you sometimes must in seduction, They will broad and lash out at you. They are prone to whining and complaining, two very anti-seductive traits. Um, you hear when all these are symptoms of self, man. And like I said, we're not using this information to go around pointing fingers at people. This is to take a magnifying glass to ourselves. And how do you fall victim to it? Because this could be the very well reason on why you're not acquiring or achieving that which you are setting out for. Say, yeah, that's me. I'm trying to change it. Exactly. Exactly. So it says reactors are far too sensitive, not to you, but to their own egos. They comb your every word and action for signs of a slight to their vanity. If you strategically back off, as you sometimes must, they will broad and lash out at you. They are prone to whining and complaining, two very anti-seductive traits. You can read the resentment in their eyes. Erase any reactive qualities in your own character. They unconsciously repel people. You see what I'm going to say it one more time. Erase any reactive qualities in your own character. They unconsciously repel people. So now when you're realizing that the people that you really need never comes. Say, you the one man I seen with clean nails. Huh, shocking. Shocking. You know what I'm saying? So now you understand why patience, reactive being instead of being proactive. You know, it's just resentment, grit, misery, all this. You seeing all this negative shit, man. That's all I'm pointing. It's just different examples of negative shit on the reason that we may house this in ourselves, but we don't recognize it. And we're wondering why shit ain't going right the way we want it to go right. So we end up complaining about shit that we truly don't understand because we don't know the root of it. And we're looking for the root answer outside of us when 9 times out of 10, the root answer is inside of us. So that's why we're just using this to bring it out into the forefront. Now, last but not least, we have the vulgarian. The vulgarian. The vulgarians are inattentive to details that are so important. You can see this in their personal appearance. Their clothes are tasteless by any standard, and in their actions, they do not know that it is sometimes better to control oneself and refuse to give in to one's impulses. Y'all hear what I'm saying? You don't use this to control others. You use this to control yourself. I'm going to read that one more time. Vulgarians are inattentive to the details that are so important in seduction. You can see this in their personal appearance. Their clothes are tasteless by any standard, and in their actions, they do not know that it's sometimes better to control oneself and refuse to give in to one's impulses. Vulgarians will blab, say anything in public. They have no sense of timing and are rarely in harmony with your taste. Indiscretion is a sure sign of the vulgarian. Don't know how to keep shit to themselves. Have to let the world know everything of what's going on in their life, what's going on. Complainers. 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 It says, it may seem impulsive, but its real source is their radical selfishness. their inability to see themselves as others see them. More than just avoiding vulgarians, you must make yourself their opposite. Tact, style, and attention to detail are all the basic requirements. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much all of that. It's just saying right now. You know, this is pretty much going into bringing it all full circle, because that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Recognize what is coming out of you, what is coming out of your actions, and what is coming out of your words. Those two things are the tools. I mean, are the results, are the bridges to the results that you're having in your life. Because by your actions and your words being the bridge, it's rooted from what's inside of you. So now we got to get to the root of the complainer. And the root you get to is, one, your insecurity. Get to the root of your insecurity. And whatever you feel insecure in, whatever area within you, strengthen it, secure it, encourage it, and empower it. So now you don't have it having control over you. You have control over it. And you can change your whole life in a 180. You can go from unhappy to joyous. You can go from misfortunate and unlucky to prosperous and abundant, all by recognizing these blockages and inhibitors inside of you. Because like I said with the weekly, what I'm speaking of is what's blocking your blessings. It's not people, it's not places, it's not things. It's what's inside of you that you're manifesting. So I really do hope this was helpful, man. This is it. That's all of it. That is all. So I really do hope this was helpful. Say codependency, abandonment, mommy issues. It's a lot, but I got this. You definitely got this. And give yourself some grace, give yourself some patience, give yourself some time to work on it. It's not going to happen overnight. But every step you take towards it will get better. The more you seek better, the more better will come to you. Trust me on that. The more you seek better, the more better will come to you. It's very helpful. Man, no problem at all. Glad I was able to. Man, no problem. Said, can I see the front of the book? I want to make sure I got the correct copy. Man, the front of my book, I used this so much, it didn't fell off. But this is how it looks on the side and the back. It has the art of seduction like this in the middle. It's like this, but it's black and purple, and it has seduction in the middle of it. So but the cover of this book didn't fell off, man. You can see it. I just don't hold it. I used it. I'm telling you, I use these on me. All right. It said, thank you. It was very helpful. I love how you break things down. Man, no problem. Glad I'm able to help. Which happens from children mishandling. Man, for real. But see, the thing about that is when you become, say, you can tell you study. Man, thank you so much. I appreciate it. See, this is why I say, even when, I'm going to say that because this is also too, even when you have childhood issues. As a child, you are really a diamond. You are a diamond. Make no mistake, you are a diamond. Your environment dictates whether your environment becomes a newspaper or a box. That's why I keep using these two analogies. As a child, you come out as the diamond. But as life keeps life in you as a child, it's either going to cover you up or it's going to chip away at you. Meaning that you're covered in so much poverty. You're covered in so much this, that, and the third. It never becomes you. So like you may have drug addict parents and you never become a drug addict. So now you are a diamond in newspaper because the newspaper is looking like I'm in an environment that is not valuable. That is not valuable. But you still try to hold on to the value in you. And you swear and you know you're being overlooked because of your environment. So you become the diamond in the newspaper to want to seek that attention to validate the diamond in you. Or life begins to chip away at you. So the only thing that you have left is these pieces. So these pieces that you're left with, you make people see the value in it. You've never became whole. That whole is not even recognizable anymore. All you have left is the pieces of you that has been chipped away. So you try to make those pieces of you look valuable, look glorious, look as extravagant as possible. Because you don't want anybody to know or recognize how empty you feel inside. How empty you feel inside. So that's why I said you have to be both. That you be in the box, people get a glimpse of your value. But everybody does not have the opportunity to open you up and see the diamond inside of you. That's why the diamond is inside of the box and not on display. And not on display. Because you don't have to display the full diamond. People get glimpses of you just by being in your presence. People have to earn the right to open that box up because you value it. You value it. If everybody has access to the diamond within you, you don't value it. You don't value it yourself. Now, if you notice everything that I spoke about, did it have anything to do with deceiving, manipulating anyone? Just to throw that out there. I had to put this out there. Everything that I've explained on this live using these books, did I give you any tactic or tools to deceive or manipulate anybody? This is all about controlling yourself. So next time when somebody tell you about these books, tell them, I know otherwise. Because people are mostly afraid of the truth. They're afraid of knowledge. They're afraid or insecure to be intelligent. And it's not their fault. It's not their fault. Just let them know it's a different way. That's all it is get help. These are just tools to help you educate yourself on yourself. That's all. But people who don't have the right mind, who don't know how to control themselves, would use these to control others. Just like money. Money is a tool to build. As well as if you're not wise enough, money is a tool to destroy. And 9 times out of 10, money destroys its owner. Money destroys its owner with foolishness. Just as money builds for others with intelligence. So everything has a double-edged sword to it. Everything. Everything. You just have to master it. But you can't master anything outside of you until you master yourself. Till you master yourself. So if there's any more, if there is there any question, like I said, I'm gonna use this for Q&A, but I know somebody wanted to get a mini reading. I don't know if you donated already, but the list has been open. I know I've been talking. Say, have I also read Mastery? Ha! Hold on. Where it go? Hey, babe. You see a Mastery book? It might be in that laptop bag, because somebody asked about it. Oh, damn! I appreciate it. Right here. Right here. I got the whole collection. Me and the missus, we got the whole collection. Art of Seduction, 48 Laws of Power, Mastery, and the 33 Strategies of War, along with the daily devotional. Along with that, so we've been really talking about this for quite a while. We've been on this, so that's why I said a lot of the information that we've been putting on here has been heavy, but it's been very well leading to mastery. So, say, which one do you recommend to start with? Mastery. And that's crazy because I told the missus that I read all of these. I wish I would have started with Mastery first. Because now, once you read Mastery first, and you go back and going back and rereading this, it makes that much more sense. That's how I was able to know that these was not about manipulating other people. It was about tapping in. So I would suggest everybody, if you're going to get these, read Mastery first. Read Mastery first. Read Mastery, then the Art of Seduction. And this is what I would suggest in this order: Mastery, Art of Seduction, 48 Laws of Power. Oh, and I forgot about this. Also got this too. Me and the missus, we did a whole lecture on human nature. We did a whole lecture on human nature and telling people on how to be masters of their own emotion, increasing emotional intelligence. We did a whole lecture on this one. I forgot this was one of his books too. So yeah, we got this too.
So go ahead, screenshot that.
Man, that part. All this, yeah, we got. I'm telling you, I just noticed that Robert Greene is my favorite author. I gotta be a nerd because I got a favorite author now. You know what I'm saying? I got a favorite author, and I realized I got two favorite authors: Robert Greene and Hermes Trismegistus. Those are my two favorite authors. So yeah, I'm a full blown nerd.
And in the close third.
Oh, third. Thank you, Manly P. Hall. It's man, what that other one at? Because it's another one up there too. The Secret Teachings. I got. Y'all think we be over here bullshitting? Y'all think we be over here really bullshitting? Manly P. Hall, Secret Teachings of the Ages, and The Secret Destiny of America. We don't be playing. We don't be playing around here. I read, it says, study to show thyself approved. It didn't say just study one thing. The ultimate thing you need to study is yourself. Because how can you show yourself approved if you haven't studied you? And a lot of people say that in the Bible when they want to make you read the Bible. Oh, man, look. I'm telling you, we read the Bible, we got the Quran, we got the Kabbalah, and we finna get the Vedas in a second once I can remember where I saw it. Man, we got the Corpus Hermeticum, Emerald Tablet, Egyptian Book of the Dead. You know?
Look, this screenshot.
Hey, hopefully, if If y'all screenshotting, y'all better get them. I'm putting them up here. Everybody asks me what books you read, man. We got a whole damn library. Got the Corpus Hermeticum, and we got the Odu of Lukumi. This is the book of Ifa, of the Odu, the old book of the Odus of Ifa. So man, look, we ain't playing. We ain't playing. Now I know y'all see these elekes around my neck. I'm gonna be very honest with you. No, I am not a Babalawo. I am not initiated in any system. I just keep this to recognize this is my personal choice. Because I understand the importance of the Orishas, and I try to understand as best as possible. But I'm not finna be out here faking the funk like I'm out here like I'm a Santero or a Babalawo. I am not. I am not an Ifa priest. I don't have the hand of Ifa. I do not do Opun readings. No, that is not me. That is not me. But eventually, this is my goal, to do my initiations. I want to do my initiations into Ifa, into Lukumi, and into Vudon. I understand a lot of it. I read a lot of it. I don't know the interpersonal makings, because I know somebody asked me about the African religious traditions. I know of them. I have a lot of information that speaks on them, but personal, first-hand knowledge of me working it, I don't. Meaning that I can only tell you my personal experiences with it. Other than that, you got to go to somebody who's on that level with it. So you can always ask me, man, been there. Bet. So my phone went out. Can you go back over the books shown? I have Art of Seduction and 48 Laws of Power. All right. After I would search this first. A lot of my lectures are on here. Majority of them are on Facebook, and I just got it down. And some are on YouTube. So they're all over. You know what I'm saying? They are all over. You catch them in different places. But this is one I suggest, Mastery. Then once you get, I'll let you screenshot it. Mastery. Then after that, go into the Art of Seduction. After you go into the Art of Seduction, go into the Laws of Human Nature. Because this is the Art of Seduction gives you a glimpse at your emotional strengths and weaknesses that come out in your actions. Once you go through that, now you'll start learning. You get open to that. You start learning about your own personal human nature, emotional intelligence. Then after you do that, I will go into the 48 Laws of Power. Because now you'll recognize the power you possess, and you need to know how to be responsible for it. How to be responsible for it. 48 Laws of Power. Hopefully you got that. Then after that, go into the 33 Strategies of War. Now it shows you how to use it. It gives you some idea on how to use it and how it is used against you. So get those and read. I would read those in that order. Huh? What's that back?
I was looking for something else.
Okay. So I only have seen two videos on YouTube. Yeah, a lot of the videos I have is unlisted. It was unlisted, but this is what the Robert Greene collection for us look like. So if y'all want to take a screenshot of it, here you go. Just so you can know. Matter of fact, I'll put them in order like I spoke of. Just so you can take a picture of it in that order. So I'm better at listening than reading. I feel you.
Get to audio.
Yeah, you can. What's that one? Oh yeah. All right, so take a picture. Take a picture of this so you can get the order and what I spoke about. This is the order I would read them if I were you. But you can read them in any order you want to. Read them in any order you choose. So let me know once y'all got the screenshot of it. All right. Next, after you do that, the missus brought a great book. I haven't tapped into it yet. She has. She has. I haven't tapped into it yet. So you got the screenshot? Bet. All right. The next book then, after that. Damn. Okay. Bam. Now, this is great. This is great. This is where it start talking about gaslighting and all that other extra shit on the different type of how to use emotions. This is the art of seduction on the dark side. Put it like that. Because now you get to recognize how this is used to alter and go against and control and all that shit. Now this is what you need to look at. When you say about manipulating and all that shit, Dark Psychology and Manipulation by William Cooper. And I have another book by William Cooper, but I'm not going to go into that one. That's on something totally different. But if I start going into that book, with the other book, if y'all never heard of this book, Behold a Pale Horse. That's the first William Cooper book. Behold a Pale Horse. Behold a Pale Horse. That's the same author. That is the same author. Dark Psychology and Manipulation. The one who wrote Behold a Pale Horse. I really suggest you get this one. This is not on the same lines, but it gives you some world shit. But if you have read Behold a Pale Horse, then yes, get this too. If you have not, still get this because it shows you a lot of the dark manipulative patterns. But then this shows you how these patterns are used in the world. That's why I said these two go hand in hand. How this is used in the world. Now this is a personal preference, which one you want to get first. I got this one first because I was more into worldly shit. Like, okay, this. But this gave an explanation of the intention and motive behind it. What was the vehicle for this? What was the vehicle? So, here you go, man. Next, now so get that. Now, once you get that dark psychology, it's really a toss-up because now you want to start getting into religion. I would say the Bible first. The Bible. Once you get the Bible, don't get any other. You said 7 books so far. Yeah. So we got the 5 Robert Greene books. We got William Cooper, Dark Psychology. Then you can get Behold a Pale Horse. After you do that, you can go to the Bible. I would refer.
This like separate, like the religious stuff. I think is separate.
Oh, this is like how religion is used.
Mm-hmm.
So after you go through the Behold a Pale Horse, go into the King. Don't go into no other one. King James Version. You got to start understanding that version. I don't know. It got thus, thou, doth, and all that shit. But you're gonna get more to the original essence of Christianity. You with that verbiage, because King James is very influential in Christianity. So now you get the Bible. Read that. Don't worry about if you get the duality of it. Just read it. Read it for the first time for the face value. Then get this. Corpus Hermeticum. Once you get the Corpus Hermeticum and you understand it, go back and read the Bible again. Now you can read it from the duality of it. When you first read the Bible, you're going to read the Bible for face value. When you read this and you understand this, then you'll go back and read the Bible for the actual other side of it, because the Bible gives you the seen and the unseen right there in its text. Hermes Trismegistus. Corpus Hermetica. Hermes Trismegistus. That's where you get Hermetics from Hermes. Hermes Trismegistus, the author of Hermetics. And his book was called the Hermetica. After you get the Hermetica, you can get the called the Hermetica. After you get the Hermetica, you can get the Kabbalion. It leads you into Hermetic science, because this is a book from Gnostic Hebrews that studied Hermetic, and it has a Hermetic science to where this is where your tree of life initiated from, the Kabbalion. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. The tree of life stems from the Kabbalion, the way you see it today. Said, thank God for dyslexia. I can read backwards. Man, I'm telling you, I'm just doing this because I got so many books out here and I just can't turn it and I won't see it. See, the thing about this is, all these books you see me with, this is 8 years worth of research. This shit ain't happened overnight. This me starting and collecting and reading 8 years ago. In 2017. This is 8 years worth of work. 8 years. And you got people who've been doing this 20, 30 plus years. So that's why I said I don't know it all. I'm still, me even doing 8 years worth of this research, I'm still a baby in this shit. I'm a novice. You might think I'm, fuck no. Fuck no. I'm a novice in this shit. I'm still putting opinions and perspectives and perceptions together. You know what I'm saying? I might say something today, read something this evening, and have something totally different tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not no motherfucking guru. That's why I say I'm not no guru. I'm still searching that shit, man. I don't know it all. And I had to come to the realization I will never know it all. But I'd be damned if I ain't trying. I'm trying. I'm trying to get as much as I can. You know what I'm saying? To make it all make sense. To make it all make sense.
You are doing it. You're not trying.
That, well, I ain't thinking.
You're improving.
That part. I'm practicing for improvement. There it is. There it is. All right. It said all of those books, it may take me 8 years to read them. It took me. Man, and hold on. Be honest with you. You see where I'm at in this book? I cross-reference so much. Like, I finish books. When I right now, the missus will tell you, I got like 4 to 5 open books. But I use each one to refer back to each one. So when I finish one, I finish all. When I open one, I open them all. By the time I finish one, I probably have finished them all. Because I'm cross-referenced. And that shit takes me months to do. It takes me months. And I'm going to be honest, the reason I do that is because I try to multitask my mind. I try to multitask my mind to where now if I have all these dots and I train myself in these books to put these dots together, then when I go out into this world, I can perceive multiple dots and I can put them all together. The same way that they did with the seed of life, the flower of life, and the tree of life. All those are dots that are all connected. And I have to be able to see them in all dimensions. So if I can understand the flower and the tree of life in that type of dimension, I need as within, so without. So I have to look at the world in that same aspect. See, my spiritual mind can see it, but I need to have my conscious mind see that. So I have all these things open and I'm putting all these dots together. And once I put the whole picture together, I need to translate that from my spiritual mind, conscious mind to my physical eye to do that in real time. So that's why I tell you everybody can do this. It's like if I can tell you that if you take this step with all factors, that's going to be the result. That's because I put all pieces together. Using my unseen mind, using my unseen eye and my seen eye, I put the unseen and the seen together, and I can tell you that if you do this, that's going to happen. That's all what these books do. But it's up to you to do the work. So it's like, shit. You know what I'm saying? So she'll tell you, my brain goes constantly. Constantly. Just till recently, till now, I'm starting back dreaming again. Because I'm trying to, I'm slowing my shit up some. You know what I'm saying? But definitely, you want to train your mind like that, because in the Corpus Hermeticum, it shows you how powerful your mind is. See, this is telling you about the physical nature. All this Barbara Greene shit and the William Cooper shit, that's showing you all the physical shit. That's why I said when you transition that to the Bible, now you bringing that back to the spiritual. You bringing how this shit was constructed. Then once you read the Bible, go to the Corpus Hermeticum. Now you going to the unseen shit. See, I'm trying to revert. I'm reversing it. Like I'm going from world to spirit, so you can understand how spirit is behind the world. Without spirit, there is no world. So I got to deprogram you first to reprogram you. So now once you go into the deprogramming and you go back to the origin and you understand it, deprogramming, this is like re-engineering human beings. That's all you're doing. You are re-engineering yourself. So that's why you're going down to the, you go from the physical to the unseen to deprogram it, because now you're going to go from the unseen to the seen to reprogram it. So you're re-engineering your whole being. That's how you re-engineer humans. And I learned that because I have an engineering degree. So instead of me doing that shit out here, I said, let me do it to myself. So instead of me being an engineered being by the world, I recognize I was engineered. Let me deprogram. And see, people don't tell you this. You don't unlearn to relearn. No, you deprogram to learn. You deprogram yourself to learn, because you need to learn how you were put together and why you're operating the way you are. So you deprogram yourself to learn yourself. Once you go to the origin and the source of you, now you re-engineer. Yes, you reprogram, but as you reprogram, you got to re-engineer yourself, because now that you reprogram your mind, you got to put yourself back together differently. So you need reprogramming and re-engineering at the same time. You just need deprogramming to learn how you was initially engineered. That's why the Chinese is getting ahead of the game in technology. They take a lot of technology, deprogram it, learn it, and re-engineer it. But they learned this process from humans. From humans. That's why I was telling people, humans are the original computer. I'm telling you, once you do all this, you'll see that everything in this world is a derivative of you. Once you get back to the origin and the source, shit. This life becomes more understandable. But I have to give you this too. After you get outside of the religious books, the Bible, the Quran, the Kabbalion, the Hermetica, you start going into the Egyptian Book of the Dead, the Tibetan Book of the Dead. You start getting out of that, and you start going into the different spiritual systems, voodoo, hoodoo, Orisha, Santeria, Lukumi, all these. One thing is going to happen to you. You're going to get depressed. So be ready for that. You are going to get depressed. And the only reason I'm saying that is because you're going to recognize how everything was a fucking lie, for one. Two, how valuable you are and you had nothing to say or do about it. And three, you're going to feel so hopeless in trying to change it. Because you're going to recognize how long this shit been going on. Right up under your nose. How do you beat it and overcome it? Realize that you cannot save the world. Save yourself. And in the attempts of you saving yourself, be an example. Hey, that part. Be the example. Because like right now, y'all see me up here doing all this research, talking, this, that, and the third. I'm not going to sit up here and be naive and be ignorant about this. I'm going to be honest with you. Everything that I put out here is not me saving you. It's not me saving you. Me putting this out here is me being an example. So, because at the end of the day, it's your personal decision if you take this and use it. It's your personal decision if you say fuck it. So that's why I tell people when I give you a reading, don't thank me. I appreciate the gratitude, but don't thank me before you thank yourself, because you the one that did the work. If you wouldn't have done the work, anything that came out my mouth was only mere words. That's all it was, mere words. But if you did the work, thank you first. I'm saying it's when it comes to help, this is the hierarchy. Thank the eternal first. And the only reason, I'll tell people, the only reason you're supposed to thank the eternal is because if it wasn't for the infinite, your finite existence wouldn't be here. For that alone. It's not because of what God can do for you, what God did for you, this, that, and the third, what God said. No. Get that out your mind. That's not God's job to save you. It's God's job to exist. The universal infinite God, its only responsibility is to exist. Because as long as the universal infinite God exists, you do too. So give thanks for that and that alone. For that. Everything else, you better thank yourself. Everything else, you better thank yourself. And if people assisted you along the way, thank them afterwards. That's the hierarchy of gratitude. That's the hierarchy of gratitude, the trinity of gratitude. Thank the universal, thank you, and thank those who helped you. Because if it wasn't for the universe, you wouldn't be here. And if it wasn't for you, nobody would be around to assist you because you wouldn't be here. And if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be able to make it happen. And because you made it happen, the universal God is fulfilled. You see how I said you deprogram to learn, to reprogram and re-engineer to get right back anew. It's that, I'm telling you, once you start realizing how this shit work, man, it's mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. So, man, did anybody donate, man? Because I might have to come back this evening. I didn't know this lecture was going to take this long. I was going to do some personal readings, but I might have to come back and do some. But, is there any more questions? I know I have this. Matter of fact, we've been on here 3 hours and 15 minutes. Didn't know I was going to be on here that long. Didn't know I was going to be on here that long. But I'm going to leave this portion open for any other comments, questions. So I hope I gave y'all enough books to check out. You can check out the Emerald Tablet. You know, that's a good one. Yeah, Emerald Tablet, Book of the Dead. Said the big three. He said, appreciate your time and energy, sir. Really appreciate it. Man, no problem. No problem at all. What you mean by the big three? Because it's a man. I'm telling you, man. When you start getting in, if people want to get deeper into spiritual knowledge, definitely the Kabbalion. I knew I forgot one. The Kabbalion, the Kabbalah. This is different. This is the Kabbalah. You want the Kabbalion. Say sun, moon, rising. Oh yeah, those. I'm gonna be honest with you. When you talk about sun, moon, rising, descendant, all it is just showing you where your star and planet placements are within the zodiacal system, because your destiny is written in the stars. It is, and you'll learn why in here. The Corpus Hermetica explains why your natal chart is so important. People just tell you, but the actual understanding of it came from here. Came from here. It explains exactly why. So if you want to understand the importance of why the sun, moon, planets, and stars are important to you, read Corpus Hermetica. And you'll see things totally different. You'll see things totally different. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the Kabbalion. The Kabbalion gives you. Oh, yeah. Here's the Egyptian Book of the Dead. This explains a lot about Isis and Osiris, meaning humans in connection with nature, like animals and plants and shit, water and air. This is showing the connection between humans and nature. Also gives you the best masculine principle and feminine principle example ever through Osiris and Isis, Osar and Aset. So definitely get the Egyptian Book of the Dead. It speaks about Anubis, Tahuti, Hapi, Sebek, Kansu, all of them. It explains it all. Ra, Amun Ra, all that shit. Man. Yeah, I'm open for reading this. If anybody want to get a mini, I'm just talking to somebody who wanted to get one. I forgot, I'm just saying if anybody want to get a personal reading, mini reading real quick, because I only got time for talking to somebody who wanted to get one. I forgot, I'm just saying if anybody want to get a personal reading, mini reading real quick, because I only got time for probably one. Oh, okay, cool, no problem. Just let me know once you donate to here. Say so 11 books. Man, okay. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's really more.
It's yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go through if y'all write this down. All right, cool. I got you unapologetic. I got you. These are the books I recommend. Now, it ain't gonna be in any order because I'm trying to remember them all. You got Robert Greene Collection. You got Mastery, Art of Seduction, The Laws of Human... Mastery, Art of Seduction, Laws of Human Nature, 48 Laws of Power, 33 Strategies of War, Dark Psychology, and Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper. You have the King James Version Bible. You got Corpus Hermeticum by Hermes Trismegistus. Then you go back to the Bible. You go Bible, Quran. After the Quran, you go to the Kabbalah. Once you go to the Kabbalah, go to the Kabbalion. After the Kabbalion, go to the Emerald Tablet. Once you go off the Emerald Tablet, go to the Egyptian Book of the Dead. After the Egyptian Book of the Dead, Start studying the different spiritual systems between voodoo and Orisha. Voodoo, Orisha, and Ifa. Once you get out of that, go into the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And after you get out the Tibetan Book of the Dead, go into the Buddhic Vedas. Once you go into all this, man, you should have the biggest perception about all this shit. Know what I'm saying? Like, you should have a great understanding about all this shit. And it's more books, but those will get you a healthy foundation. It really is so many levels, and that's not even all of it. Because see, the thing about that is all these is just books. I haven't even taken into account the people you're going to meet. That's going to give you something that's not in books. I'm not even taking into account the information you're going to get from when you meditate. It's so much. I'm telling you, when I realize it is so much that you'll never get bored learning. You never get bored learning. It is so much because you'll never know it all. The only thing that I'd suggest people do know is the origins of the universe and the origins of you. Everything else will be easy to add upon it. Easy. So easy. So that's like at least, and these ain't no small ass books. So that's what I'm saying. Don't try to read this shit overnight. Don't try to read this shit overnight, because you're going to burn your brain clean the fuck out. It's too much information just to read it in one setting. You can't. You can't read this shit in one setting. It's going to blow your damn head off.
Bro.
Like,
gotta keep coming back to it.
hell yeah. Hell yeah. But if anybody want to get a personal mini reading, let me know once you donate it. I thought I pinned it. So let me know once you donate and I got you. And unapologetically, I got you. I ain't forgot about you. So if anybody else got any questions, let me know. Let me know. Hopefully, y'all, if anybody missed any titles of the books, let me know, because I kind of got an idea of what I said now. You know what I'm saying? All right, bet. So just let me know. Let me know, and I'll try to repeat them again. Pace, digest, understand exactly. You don't read just to say you read them. You read them to understand. You read them to gain the knowledge. You'll never fully understand it until you apply it. So you read to gain the knowledge. Once you gain the knowledge of it, try it. Experiment with it, with yourself, not on others. Because you don't want other people to suffer from your inexperience. And I had to realize that, like, I don't know this shit yet. So I'm not finna try this on nobody else. Let me use myself as a test dummy. Then once you gain working experience, then go on to the next. Said, like how you stack them to screenshot them though. I'm just writing writing kind of person, retaining it better. Hey, I feel you. All right, well, as I shuffle these for you unapologetically, like I said, you got the 5 books by Robert Greene, Mastery, The Art of Seduction.
I think I find that.
Yeah. Yeah, the five books by Robert Greene, the Robert Greene collection. Get that one. Yeah. Yeah, the five books by Robert Greene, the Robert Greene collection. Get that one. After the Theology and Behold a Pale Horse. After that, you got the Bible. After the Bible, King James Version, you got the Corpus Hermeticum. After the Corpus Hermeticum, go back to the Bible, then get the Quran. After the Quran, you want the Kabbalah, the Holy Kabbalah. Oh, I forgot one too. In between the Holy Kabbalah and the Kabbalion, the Nag Hammadi. Nag Hammadi. Naghamadi. The Nag Hammadi. You want that. You want that. And when you get the Bible, that's King James Version, you want the Apocrypha included. You want the King James Version of the Bible included with the Apocrypha. Nag Hammadi. Naghamadi. The Nag Hammadi. I knew I forgot one. The Nag Hammadi. All right. Then the Nag Hammadi. Then you got the Quran. After the Quran, you got the Egyptian Book of the Dead. You got the Emerald Tablet. Then you got the Kabbalion, Tibetan Book of the Dead, and the Buddhic Vedas. Say it again. Nag Hammadi. Naghamadi. And I got to get another one. I had it, but I lost it. So I got to get another Nag Hammadi. So much information. So much. That's why when I talk about the story about Adam and Eve, you're like, that ain't in the Bible. I know. I know. It's in the Nag Hammadi. The Gnostic Hebrew Bible. So, all right, unapologetic. So hopefully everybody got that written down. I just added that book, Nag Hammadi, if you didn't have that. I just added it on. Because I could add you something else if people want to understood how to, if you want to learn how to face your demons, get the Testament of King Solomon and the lower and upper key of Solomon. To learn how to face your demons, to build your inner temple, get the Testament of Solomon, and then get the upper and lower key of Solomon. The lower key of Solomon is really called the Goetia, because they're called Goetic daemons. So you want the Goetia and the higher key of Solomon. That'll show you how to face your demons. Which demons are only your melanin inside your carbon body. That's it. All right. Unapologetically, only thing it's saying is here, trust that whatever work you're gonna put in is gonna pay off. Right now, don't put any stock into people who are not putting any effort. Right now, if somebody does not have, it's because they are not doing. So trust that all that you do, you will be rewarded for it. And hold on to what you got, because you just don't want to give it away just because somebody says X, Y, and Z. Don't believe it. You already see through it. You already focus. Actions, in your case, actions speak louder. Actions speak louder. All right, so my phone is really telling me that it's about to die. All right, so my phone is really telling me that it's about to die. At 9% on my phone. I was at 100 when I started. So I'm shocked it gave me this much. But if anybody say enjoy the rest of your day, King, thanks for your information and time. Man, no problem. No problem at all. So I've been saying that if you wanted to, you would. Yeah. That's pretty much what's going on in your energy. That's what's going on. So actions speak louder. Actions speak louder. So in this essence, man, I'm going to have to get up off of here. I would do a personal mini. I have room for one. So if somebody want to get that mini reading, you got to let me know now. Because other than that, have you read these books? All of them. Yes. I have read all of them. If I haven't already read them, I am in the middle of finishing them. But yes, all these books I have read. I have. And trust me, that's why I'm telling you this. Oh, shit, that ain't nothing to brag about. That shit ain't nothing to brag about, man. Do you know the pain and suffering? To have, but you got to enjoy that. You got to enjoy that. It's a personal thing for me. Because do you know how much pain and suffering I endured knowing this? It took me to a dark place. Like, damn, this shit's sad. Why the fuck am I here? But I woke up from it to realize, like, man, that's why you're here. You know what I'm saying? That's why you're here. So go ahead, give the people what they need. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I was definitely renewed. Yes. Brought me to the person I am right now. Because I can honestly tell you, about 10, 15, 20 years ago, you wouldn't think this would be me. I was the total opposite. I was hell on wheels. I was hell on wheels. You say your outlook shows the work you've done. Man, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Man, like I said, I just give it how it's given to me. You know what I'm saying? And I just try to be responsible with it. Just try to be responsible. Said, thank you, love, that I got the live for this and it hit hard without complaining. Man, I'm glad it helped. I'm glad it helped. I'm missing a question. Hold on. Say, I'm starting this spiritual journey alone, so thank you for this. Man, no problem at all. See, that's why I said this is why I had to turn my perspective, because you can easily get depressed with this when you realize that this shit's some bullshit. But when you really look a little bit deeper and understand how much power you have, you can actually make a difference. You can't save the world, but you can make a difference. And you could be that one spark that creates a whole new world. That's all it takes, is one person to put that spark out there. And you'll see a whole new world created. May not happen in your lifetime, but it's because of your lifetime it happened. And sometimes you're going to have to be satisfied with that. And if that happens, I'm okay with it. That it may not happen in my lifetime, but because of my lifetime, it happened, fine with me. Fine with me. Says this is going to be on Patreon. I'm going to subscribe there too. Cool. Most definitely. Yeah, I'll put it on there. Because I was just going to put clips. But yeah, if people really want to see this whole full live, I will definitely put it on Patreon. Just subscribe to it. I'll have it posted by tonight. So you can go back and watch and do as many times as you feel. I will definitely have it posted tonight. This is one of them. So if don't nobody else want to get a personal reading, I'm finna get up off here because my phone is definitely about to die. So I really do hope all this information was helpful, insightful, enlightening. So Jay-Z says he master-led the 48 laws. Only person that I've recognized that really did the 48 laws of power is 50 Cent. It's 50 Cent. Jay-Z, I would give him more of the dark psychology. Because he knows how to manipulate a situation like no other. If you listen to his music, he's telling you how to manipulate shit. His music is manipulative. That he knows how to use certain tools to influence. That's not the laws of power. That's manipulation. Because you don't use the 48 laws to manipulate. You use the 48 laws to master. And I think the one who does that is the best is 50 Cent. I think he broadcasted too much, but man, I'm telling you, that's why I say after a while I was. Ooh, somebody just sent for a mini. Okay. Ooh, let me hope I after a while I was. Ooh, somebody just sent for a mini. Okay. Ooh, let me hope I got enough power. So cool. Whoever just sent for a mini, let me know. But that's why I'm not a big fan of Jay-Z. It's only two albums I like because of the music quality. But other than that, I'm not a big fan. All right, well, I got you. What's your question? But I'm not a big fan of Jay-Z. I'm not. And it's not because of all this speculatory shit. I'm just not. I'm not. I'm not. But I mean, that's just my opinion. It's a lot of people that I'm not a big fan of. Like right now, I'm not a big fan of Kendrick Lamar. I was a real big fan when it comes up with Kid in Mad City. I love that album. But this shit here, I'm good. Like what really solidified it for me is you get 5 Grammys for Not Like Us, destroying another man, and you get 5 Grammys in praise for that. I'm sorry, bruh. I'm sorry, bruh. I was not expecting that. I was not. Cause I'm like, if you actually listen to it, the whole shit is garbage. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. My opinion is like everybody. If I need to know what else I should start to do outside of my current occupation, got you. I can go ahead and put these out real quick. I want to catch it before my phone dies. I'm at 5%, so we finna see how this shake. Finna see how this shake for real, for real. But while I'm shuffling this up, man, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I really do hope all this information was helpful, insightful, enlightening, and gave you enough information to move forward on your journey. Because after I finish with this mini, I'm going to be up out of here. Got to get me some more greens in my system. All right. Here we go. I'll be and if I don't catch you, I'll be back later on tonight to do more personal readings. Okay. Right here, this shows me, okay, you already had that situation, 2 of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, 3 of Cups. Now it's time to start focusing on what we talked about. Wheel of Fortune, Chariot. Because it's going to start using this as a time to get up out the truck. I'm telling you, start focusing on how you're going to get up out that truck and start creating your fleet. All this is now saying working on your financial structure, progressing in your finances. That's all. So start focusing on how you're going to get up out that truck, getting your fleet, and focusing on all financial stabilities. Because right now, you can't worry about what was. Because you're going to want to get up out that truck soon. I mean, right now, it's looking at sooner than later. So now, definitely, start focusing on your financial foundation. Because we got the 10 of Pentacles, 7 of Swords, 10 of Swords. All that decision that you had to make it. 10 of Swords. Now it's time to restructuring and settling your foundation. So now, like we were talking about before, commit to it and you'll start making progress on that. Because now these investments that you're about to make are definitely going to be lucrative. Oh, trust me, they are. Trust me, they are. You need somebody, you need a different outlet. You need a different outlet to bring these to you. Because the outlet you going to you, they're not bringing you the loads quick enough. So you need somebody, you need a different dispatcher or something to bring these loads to you quicker. So I would reach out to find somebody else. Keep them, but still open up to find somebody else who can lead you different loads. Hey, Hey, WAP, there you go right there. Bay Love, connect. Bam. There you go. So now you got a trucker and a dispatcher right there. Get this money, man. Get this money. And that's how the universe works. Right place, right time. There you go. That's all you need to focus on right there. Definitely get in contact. Man, take advantage of it, bruh. You got 2 right there. Inbox. Make yourselves available to one another. Connect and network with one another. Inbox, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all make it shake for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Make it shake for one another. Make it shake. I'm just going to put these clarifiers out here real quick for you. And we're going to see what's good. Damn, I've been on here 4 hours. Okay. Man, hey, y'all network, man. This is, like I said, this is a safe place. Go ahead and do that. I'm just doing mini readings. I'm not doing any, all the zodiac signs are done, to be real with you. All the zodiac signs are done. So I'm just doing a personal mini right quick before my phone dies. All right, here we go. Yep. What I tell you? 3 of Cups again. So this is you already looking at a network. Definitely contact them, because once again, I got the Hierophant clarified by the Hierophant clarified by the Wheel of Fortune. This means your business is taking a good turn once you start taking this leap of faith with your trucks. Trust that you cannot keep relying on the old way of doing things. So now you got these new ways presenting itself. Connect and network. Trust me. That's why I said you need you need a different dispatcher, because right now 7 of Swords clarified by the Chariot. Whoever is feeding you this information or feeding you the loads is not giving it. It's either not having you in priority or not feeding you enough. So you need more. You need more people feeding you. Once you start looking into that, once this start coming in, start looking on how you can get yourself out the truck and start having your own fleet, along with getting your financial foundation solidified. And we already talked about that, because like I said, you're going to start putting money in certain places. That's going to start progressing and growing interest. Start doing that. But never doubt yourself. Don't doubt it. Because the moment you doubt it, you're not going to trust it. You're going to stop. Because that's the issue right there. Making a decision to quit. Don't do it. Don't doubt it. Because once you doubt it, you're not going to trust it. The moment you stop trusting it, you're going to quit. Don't do that. So start connecting with those dispatchers and keep the ball rolling. So, Wop, I really do hope that was helpful. I really do hope that was helpful. Man, I got to get up out for here. So if anybody want to get a personal reading, you can go to www.3kingsconsulting.com and schedule your reading. And for all of your holistic needs, you can go to www.stylesforlife.org and purchase today. Nobody told you, let me be the first. I love you. But most importantly, love yourself. And I bid you all peace, love, prosperity, and bliss. And I'll catch you all later on tonight, and we're going to do tunes and tarot. We really going to get it in. You feel me? You feel me? Man, no problem at all. Glad I'm able to help. And I'll catch you all tonight. All right? All right. Peace.